Abbott. I have 6 ASE certified technicians working from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. I have a voucher for any of the 6 Alaska Laser Wash locations for each customer. If you schedule ahead and need a ride when you drop your vehicle off, I may be able to help. Call Specialty Truck and Auto, 349-1637.
Are you ready? Dan Fagan and Glen Biegel are here. They're gonna tear it up, rip it down, and shoot it straight. Fagan and Biegel in the morning on Hot Talk, KOAN. And now, Fagan and Biegel.
Well, good morning on this, the last day of the year 2014. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel is off today. He will be back on Monday. How are you? Glad to have you here on the broadcast this morning on a what most would probably consider a balmy December morning. Wouldn't you say, Brian, this is not what you would consider your typical winter?
Well, I went out this morning, all the snow had melted.
It's unbelievable.
At my house, yeah.
And it was kind of, I don't know if it was raining or misting, but it definitely wasn't snowing. Yesterday, I don't know, maybe 12, 1. Oh, actually, you know what? It's right when I was leaving the studio, around 9:30 or so. It was literally sleeting, not snowing or raining. So, yeah, it's just unusual. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not one of these guys who gets all upset because it doesn't get below zero. I have no problem with that personally. That's my own personal viewpoint. Well, it is as I said, the last day of 2014. Here we are. I don't know about you, Brian, but 2014, it appeared in my mind to last about 20 minutes. It just flew by.
Yeah, I have a theory. The older we get, the faster it goes by, because it's been doing that for me.
Well, you know, if you just think about it for a second, when you're 12 years old, a year is, you know what, 14%, or it'd be about 8% of your life. When you're 50 years old, you know, a year is what, 4 or 5% of your life. So yeah, as you spend more time on the planet, the years go by so much quicker, because it's just a year when you're a kid is like forever. I mean, think about the changes you have between just 13 and 14.
Yeah, I guess I see that.
Yeah, but from 50 to 51, you know, you're just a little sorer. Just a little more stiff.
Yeah, I was gonna say 40 to 41 even. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you. How do you feel? How old are you? 40 what? You just
45.
45?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's no one on this planet. There's not a single 45-year-old on this planet that looks any younger than you. I guarantee you that. You have got to admit that.
I don't know about that.
You honestly.
I don't get carded anywhere.
Well, no, I'm not saying you're 18 looking.
Oh.
I'm not giving you that. But I in all honesty, I could, if I didn't know you and I just walked in and met you, and frankly, that's what I thought when I did. I remember the day I did meet you. I thought you were somewhere in your late 20s.
Oh, wow.
I really did.
Huh. Maybe I can find a nice young lady in her 20s.
And just tell her you're 28.
No, I wouldn't lie.
No.
I'd want her to like an older.
You want her
See, I have experience. I've been through a bunch of stuff. I'm not all about a bunch of drama. I got things figured out.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Well, the young guys don't.
Yeah, so this 2014 went pretty quick, even though it was full of a lot of changes for me personally, and you too, I'm assuming. And it's just good to be alive, you know. I don't think, I know you said you had a bad 2014. How are you looking at 015? Do you feel like things are going to be good for you, or what's your thought on all that?
I'm hopeless about the whole thing.
Hopeless.
About everything.
Hopeless meaning without hope.
Yep. No, I'm just kidding. Only most things. No, actually, today I started off this morning. I got to bed really early last night. I woke up at 3 this morning, just popped right out of bed, wide awake, felt great.
Yeah.
And I signed up for the classes I was talking about taking.
Awesome.
So I'm still enrolled at UAA.
Awesome. What classes?
I don't remember what they are. I just signed up for 9 credits that were what I needed.
And
they're all online, though.
And so you did that all online, and was it expensive or was it?
It's $1,900, and then it's going to be about another $500 for books.
Wow. Actually, there's a story I'm going to bring to you today about school debt is now close to. Let me see. Let me get it because I just had it. I think it's the national education school debt. It's in the billions. I want to get the exact number though. I just literally wrote $800 billion.
Wow.
$800 billion federal student loan debt.
You know, the way I'm doing it, UAA has like a payment. They'll put you through a financing company, basically.
Yes.
So you make monthly payments, and this is what I did.
As you go.
Yeah, when I went last time, it was about the same price because I took 9 credits.
Right.
And I paid like $400 a month a payment.
Gotcha.
And they financed me up front, basically.
Good.
And so I'll have 4 payments. I made the first one today. And,
good.
Yeah. And
so it's not like you're gonna when you one day just gonna get hit with this student loan for 10 years.
Yeah, no, I'll be done at the end of the semester. I won't owe a penny.
Perfect. Yeah. And what were the 3 classes you didn't remember?
You know, I'll look them up while we're on the air.
Okay.
I can't remember. One of them's a writing class.
Oh, okay.
You know, what happened is I was in college back in 90.
Yeah.
You know, after I graduated, and I didn't finish, so I've been going back to finish.
How many credits you need?
So, well, I need 30 for this license I was trying to get.
What license?
The funeral director license.
Okay.
And that's why I went back originally.
I see.
And I have 21 something right now.
But you're not going back now because you want to get back in the funeral home business.
No, well, when I re-enrolled, they put you in an Associate of Arts program. And so I can get an associate's degree, or I can just move towards that and then move towards a major later, which that's my plan, is continuing education and getting into some modern education.
I don't know how you feel about it, Brian, and you're only 45 and you are in much better health than I am. So for you to think that you're going to be around anywhere near less than 35 years is ridiculous. You're going to be around a long time. In 35 years, you can do a lot in 35 years. I mean, that'll put you at 80, right?
Yeah, now that I think about it, why should I bother going to school?
Well,
I'm going to die. No, I'm just kidding.
35 years is forever. Think about where you were 35 years ago.
Yeah, I didn't want. I was. Now that you say it, it sounds like too long of a time to live.
It is. It's gonna. And I'm losing weight, so I hope to live to be at least 90.
Oh man, I never want to be that old.
Really? Oh, I think it's so exciting. Life is such a gift. The beauty of life is that it is a vapor. If you believe in eternity, which I do, it really is just like a. But that's the beauty of it. It's the greatest vacation that you've ever been on, but it only lasts a week, so you got to make the most of it. I'm
an overachiever. I like to finish early and move on to the next level.
Is that right? But I'm so optimistic about life, and the advances they're making in the medical care industry. At the turn of the century, you know what the average lifespan was for the male living in America?
Yeah, what, 45 or 50?
I think it was 43.
Yeah.
43, you'd be dead.
Yep. I know how they feel.
Yeah. So we got a lot to look forward to. A lot ahead of us. We live in the greatest country in the history of the planet. Tons of opportunity. We can basically do whatever we want if we apply ourselves to it.
Except for Ford Healthcare. And I've lost out my dream to be an NFL quarterback. That has not come to pass, and it probably won't be. And I'm not giving up on it totally, but I'm pretty close to just saying, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to start for an NFL team. You can turn it around.
You never know. You never know.
Jack LaLanne, he did.
You never know. 569-1080, 569-1080. Dan Fagan here, 6:14 in the morning.
Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
Hey, if you think all you need to know about beer is how to pop the top off,
You're on with Fagan
and learn why they're so different. And when you see one you'd like to try, the Beer Spy Locator can direct you to the closest store. WorldClassBeer.com, designed to help you get closer to your beer. Brought to you by the Odom Corporation. Always drink responsibly.
You know, after a hard day at work and then shopping for the holidays, the last thing you want to do is slave over a hot stove. Well, don't worry about it. Relief from this hectic time of year is just a jingle away. Call 333-8000 and ring in the holidays with the Sicily Season Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. So relax and let Sicily's deliver hot, fresh, delicious pizza, pasta, calzones, wings, and salads right to your door. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Call 333-8000 and ask for the Season's Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. For the only 24-hour-a-day delivery in Alaska, call 333-8000 or save 20% by ordering online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's. Wishing you and yours a safe and happy holiday season.
Get addicted to the First Lady of Talk Radio, Laura Ingraham.
Alaska Talk is hot even when it's cold. Hi, Anchorage. This is Laura Ingraham. Join me weekdays for your healthy radio addiction on Hot Talk KOAN.
Weekdays beginning at 2 p.m. on Hot Talk KO.
Friend Keith Montauk, who's located right across the street from the Long Branch Saloon, is on the phone with us. Keith, what do you see there?
Well, I got here. I get here early in the morning, so when I got here about 4:30, there was fire trucks sitting around, but I didn't know. I couldn't even tell what they were doing. And I mean, after I got into my parking lot here, getting around all the fire trucks, it was obvious that they were trying to do something at the Long Branch, but I didn't see any smoke or anything.
Okay, you didn't think it was your business, did you?
No. But I never did see any smoke. I came out 3 times as the morning was going on to look to see if anything had changed. I do see where they drug a bunch of stuff out of the building, so there must have been some kind of fire inside the building. But there's only 1 truck left and a couple cleanup vehicles. Most of the people are gone by now.
So it happened. You don't have any idea when it started or anything like that?
Well, the trucks were just showing up at 4:30 when I got here.
Okay. So it's probably going to be okay then, I guess. Not total.
They got a pretty good stack of stuff out the back side of the building here. So, it looks like maybe a bunch of insulation or something. So maybe there was a fire inside a wall. Who knows? That building's been there for a long time. And, gosh, but, Glen just did he just kind of revamped that thing, did some roofing work, and painted the thing all up this summer. It was, looking better than it has in years.
Did you know the owner pretty well?
Glen Kent. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. You eat over there much?
I'm afraid to. It's too close. I would I might balloon.
Yeah.
If I started getting in a habit like that, it is great food. I've ate there many times.
Yeah.
But I tend to be a little cleaner eater than that.
Oh, are you? Well, you lost. How much weight did you lose?
It's been many years ago, but I made up my mind I was going to lose some weight, and I lost 60 pounds between Labor Day and Thanksgiving one year.
And it was amazing because you never, in my mind, looked fat.
Oh, I'm tall. I carry it well, but I was, to get rid of 60 pounds is what a life changer that is. And, and I have not let it rebound.
Yeah.
But it takes an awful lot of self-control, because I love to eat.
Yeah. They say the hardest part is keeping it off.
I've watched lots of my friends do it. They'll do great on a diet, and then what the problem is with a lot of people, when they rebound even harder
Right.
than they were originally at. So the advice I hear doctors give is, unless you're 100% sure that's what you want to do,
Yeah.
It actually can work against you.
Sure.
To do it and not be committed.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, Mr. Garrett Turner doesn't hopefully he's got insurance, and hopefully he can rebound. It really is kind of it's really an Alaskana kind of place, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's clearly a landmark in town. I mean, it works great for me. Yeah, Glen has got a lot of good advertising from me.
Yes.
But it's.
Does he realize that?
Oh, I'm sure he does. He's a good guy, and
yeah.
And he's a great neighbor. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
But when you can explain just about anybody that's ever been in Anchorage where we're at by just telling them we're across the street from a Long Branch, and they immediately know where to find you.
That's all you need.
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if he tells people we're right across the street from Specialty Truck and Auto.
Probably not.
Hey, Keith, I appreciate you keeping us up to date on what's going on out there.
Hey, not a problem. Thanks, Dan. Have a happy New Year.
Yeah, same to you, Keith. Thank you.
Right.
That's Keith Montanuk, Specialty Truck and Auto. He's located right across the street from the Long Branch Saloon, which caught fire this morning. According to KTUU, numerous Anchorage Fire Department crews responded to a fire at the Long Branch Saloon. AFD dispatchers got a call reporting the fire. Just before 4:30 this morning, 12 units responded to the blaze, with nobody reportedly inside the building at the time. No word yet on damage. I'm looking at the shot here on KTUU, and the outside of the structure seems to be intact, but as Keith says, apparently they removed a lot of the inside, some of the furniture and I guess pool tables and all that stuff, and they've got it stacked out back. Well, you hate to hear that. It is an establishment that we all love, and you've been a Long Branch Saloon, I'm assuming, Brian?
Yeah, actually, my friend Sean was the bartender. Well, he still is, and he was probably working last night. I just sent him a text and asked him if he torched the Long Branch after work.
Did he respond? He's
Not yet. Yeah. I bet so. But I mean, he usually would get off work at 2 or 3 a.m.
Yeah, well, their hamburgers are just ridiculously good.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll keep you up to date on that, and if we get any new developments on that. Our number 569-1080, 569-1080. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel is off today. We will have the best of tomorrow and Friday, as it is New Year's Day and the day after, kind of a holiday week this week. And then Glenn and I will be back on live Monday. Amanda Coyne has a piece out rating the top political best and worst of in 2014. It's very interesting. Amanda's just so impressive with her blog. She works so hard. You may not agree with her, and you may take issue with the worldview she represents or holds dear, but she just has an amazing blog. I don't know, if you're a political junkie, and I would imagine if you're listening to the show, you probably are. Her blog is so good, and
I was going to say there should be a category for radio shows.
Yeah, she didn't have. Well, it's not like a media thing. It's more of the best campaign manager, worst political decision, worst political moment for a candidate, worst political ad, best television ad.
It could be like a freestyle political discussion.
Yeah, there you go. Worst state-run state department, best dressed, best shoes.
Yeah, I mean best dressed. Come on.
Worst direct mail campaign, best new or Parnell cabinet member who landed on their feet, biggest special interest winner, biggest special interest loser, best legislative staffer. The thing that's interesting is the comments. They get so nasty sometimes. But one of the commenters, and let's see what his name is or her name is. Let's see, let me find this here. Hold on for a second, folks. The commenters are what make the blog so good. All right, here's Casey Chapman. Do you know who that is?
Never heard of him.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Is
But
it a boy or girl?
I have no idea.
Oh.
2014 was most entertaining. I particularly enjoyed the following. And his first mention was Dan Fagan's return.
Oh, well, there you go.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chapman, I appreciate that. Then he goes on.
Put him on the Christmas list for next year.
That's right. Of course, he also has on there mayonnaise, pregnancy test and bars.
There's grilled cheese on there.
Treadwell announcing. You and grilled cheese, man. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If you need anything from Brian, I don't care if it's his firstborn, you want $100, you want him to cut your grass, you just make him up a big sloppy grilled cheese sandwich, and he will do anything for you. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I'm particular though. It's got to be American cheese.
American cheese, you toast it.
No cheddar, yeah. And I like it on the bigger bread, and yeah.
And you put butter in the pan?
Well, you put it on the bread, and you put the bread on the pan.
Oh, so you don't butter the pan first?
Nah.
But you don't use real butter?
Nope. But it doesn't matter. When I go to the restaurant, they probably do.
Yeah.
But mine at home tastes just as good.
What's the best grilled cheese sandwich you've ever had at a restaurant in Anchorage?
I'd say that Lucky Wishbone does a really good job.
It's
consistent, yeah.
As I told you, I'm 54 years old, and I don't think I've ever ordered a grilled cheese sandwich at a restaurant. I may have as a kid and don't remember, but I'm confident as an adult I've never ordered a grilled cheese sandwich at a restaurant.
Yeah, you know, I do it a lot when I order to go because they don't know if there's a kid with me or not.
Because it's embarrassing?
No, just they won't. It's for 12 and under. It says right on the menu.
So you can't buy it unless you're 12?
I don't know. I feel bad asking. It's like I'm not a senior citizen either. I can't ask for a cheaper price on the meal.
Have you ever ordered a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at a restaurant?
No.
That would be
ridiculous.
That would be crossing the line in a major way.
I would take one if it was free.
Do you like the crunchy or the smooth?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I like them both.
You call yourself a foodie?
Well, sometimes I don't want the extra crunchy.
Well, I'm the smooth guy. I'm a smooth guy. And I like the strawberry jelly, not the grape.
Ah, yeah. See, I'm really picky on the jelly.
Yeah.
I like honey or butter sometimes, too.
Oh, that's good. I used to eat peanut butter and sweet pickle sandwiches. Those are delicious.
I've tried fried peanut butter banana.
Ooh.
That was actually good.
No, peanut butter, we used to put peanut butter on banana. And oddly enough, I would prefer the crunchy on the banana.
See, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
I believe that. I've heard that somewhere. 569-1080. So anyway, we'll give you the best of and the worst of Alaska politics in 2014, according to Amanda Coyne. Some very interesting findings. I think you'll be interested in it. And, of course, if you want to weigh in on it and give us your best of and worst of, give us a call, 569-1080, 569-1080. Email me, danfaganshow@icloud.com, danfaganshow@icloud.com. Glen Legal Biegel is off today, spending time with his family. He'll be back with us on Monday. You're listening to Fagan Biegel in the morning on KOAN, KVNT, streaming live, danfagan.us. Time currently, 6:30. Time currently, 6:30.
Commercial Fishermen's Association and 2 individuals from out of state. including a trucking operations manager in South Carolina and a postdoctoral researcher in pharmaceutical chemistry at the University of California, San Francisco. It wasn't clear why only 4 people applied since the job had been listed on the widely read Monster.com.
That's your Hot Talk News update. Local weather is next.
It will be a windy day today with snow, much of the time accumulating 2 to 4 inches, the high 37. Then tonight, partly cloudy, low 22. For New Year's Day, tomorrow we'll see periods of clouds and sunshine with a high 28. Patchy clouds at night, low of 12. For Friday, a blend of sun and clouds, high 19 and a low 10. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Anchorage Downtown Partnership is throwing a New Year's Eve celebration that you don't want to miss. You could be part of this festive occasion to kick off Anchorage's 100-year celebration. Anchorage's New Year's Eve celebration is fun, family-friendly, and free event in Town Square, held on December 31st from 5 to 8 p.m. Enjoy live music by local bands such as H3 and the Spinners, street performers, food trucks, light shows, and more. Last but not least, the show-stopping fireworks spectacular that will end the evening with a bang! This premier New Year's Eve celebration is the only show in town with the official New Year's Eve fireworks. The fun begins at 5 p.m. in Town Square Park on December 31st and ends at 8 p.m. with the Anchorage Downtown Partnership Fireworks Spectacular. You don't want to miss out. For more information on this event, please visit anchoragedowntown.org or call 907-279-5650. Brought to you by Anchorage Downtown Partnership, Visit Anchorage, the Alaska Railroad, Linden Transport, and Alaska Integrated Media.
Isn't it just amazing how many of these ancient Alaskan traditions one runs into? I, for instance, have discovered it is also an ancient Alaskan tradition to serve Alaska king crab and mandarin white prawns for dinner, not only at Christmas, but also on New Year's Eve. So naturally, crab and prawns are exactly what New Sagayan City Market are featuring as specials right now as we draw closer to the new year. Alaska Golden King crab clusters, just the legs and claws, only the parts you like best. Right now, just $15.95 a pound at New Sagayan City Market. And large white prawns, prized, it is said, by Chinese emperors, are just $9.99 a pound this week. Oh, those large, crisp Shingo pears are fast becoming a traditional food as well. Sweet and juicy Shingo pears are special this week at New Sagayan City Market, $6.99 a piece. However, they're so large it might be advisable to bring a bigger gunny sack. From the butcher shop, it's fresh ground pork, makes glorious hamburgers, just $3.99 a pound. Happy New Year from New Sagayan Midtown and City Market, 13th and I.
Being a business owner isn't easy. There's managing people, customers, income, expenses, unexpected issues, growing your brand, and so much more. Ready to be more efficient in everything you do? Then listen to Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt. Each week, David gives you the inside scoop on the latest business news and trends, along with tools for keeping your business on track. Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt. Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. on Hot Talk, KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 a.m.
When I grew up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything, from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Glen Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist for Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
Do you remember that Beatles song? If the rain comes, they'll run and hide their heads. You know which one I'm talking about. Well, if that's you and you're inside your home or office, it's time to call Earhart Roofing. Call Earhart Roofing for all your roofing needs. Flat or pitched, large or small, Earhart Roofing will do the job quickly, and they'll do it right. Earhart Roofing, big enough to serve you and still small enough to care. Call 345-5555. That's 345-5555.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at half.com.
.36 in the morning. Good morning to you on this, the last day of the year 2014, December 31st. Happy New Year to you tonight. Clock strikes midnight. Big fireworks show downtown this year, put down by the Downtown Partnership. Hopefully some of you can make it out there and watch the fireworks. Also, of course, plenty of New Year's Eve parties around town. And it's a big night. It's a festive night. 569-1080. 569-1080 is the number. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel will be back tomorrow. Or no, I'm sorry, Monday. He's spending some time with the family. We're streaming, by the way, video and audio on danfagan.us. danfagan.us. Check it out if you could. You can actually watch the show right there on your fancy computer, iPhone, iPad, or any device, really, that has access to the internet. What an incredible year Amanda Coyne has had with amandacoyne.com. She has, within a very short period of time, inserted herself into the media scene in Alaska in a way I've not seen one person do in all my years working in the media myself. You know, she used to, well, she was, Amanda was married to Tony Hopfinger. I think they were married. Yeah, I think they were married. And they started together the Alaska Dispatch. And, you know, it's tough. It's tough to start a website to compete with other media outlets. And they were struggling and kind of going along. And all of a sudden, gazillionaire Alice Rogoff comes along and says, hey, I'll tell you what. I'll supplement and pay for the Dispatch, and, you know, we'll see how it goes. And I know one year I was told, I don't remember how long ago it was, several years ago, somebody told me who worked for the Dispatch, that in one calendar year they actually lost $1 million, but Alice Rogoff just kicked into cash. So they you know, were never self-sufficient on their own. When, you know, I mean, Alice Rogoff is one of the richest people on the planet, her and her husband. And so Rogoff decided she'll supplement the Dispatch, and then I was assumed losing hundreds of thousands of years doing it. And then she decides, well, the Anchorage Daily News is for sale. I'll go ahead and buy it. What I'm told, she paid a lot of money for it, much more than it's worth. And bought it from McClatchy newspaper chain. So now she owns the Anchorage Daily News. I don't know if she's losing money or not. I know under publisher Pat Doherty over at the Alaska Daily News, or Anchorage Daily News, they had cut the staff down to such a bare bone minimum that they were still making money, but their staff was literally just a ghost of what it was. Because McClatchy wanted the money, the corporation, they wanted the profits to come back. Well, Rogoff, when she took over, she beefed the staff back up. I would assume to the detriment of their profit margin. I'm just assuming that. But apparently Ms. Rogoff, in her position financially, does not have to concern herself with profits. And this is now, I'm speculating here. I'm not reporting to you what I know. I'm reporting to you what I suspect. Is that the paper's probably not making much money now, but it is a better product because the staff is much bigger. The left-wing bent is still predominant, though. Frankly, I think it's almost worse than it was under the Anchorage Daily News, if you can imagine. But Ms. Rogoff and Mr. Hopfinger had a falling out with Amanda Coyne. Amanda, of course, and Tony were either married or boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't remember. I think they were married. And so they fired her. She kind of took over for Sheila Toomey, doing a great job on the weekly column. And so here she is without a job, even though she helped found the Dispatch, helped it come along. And so she decided, I'm assuming, just to jump in there and say, well, I'll just do my own thing. And wow. I mean, wow. With all due respect to Mr. Hopfinger, I think we now know who the talent was in that relationship. She has just produced this website, amandacoin.com. It's just phenomenal. Now, again, you're going to get Amanda is someone with a left-of-center bias. Now, she might deny that because everyone who has a left-of-center bias say they don't have a left-of-center bias. So, with all due respect to Amanda, if you take offense at that, I apologize, but that's my observation. But she really does make a real concerted effort, in my opinion, to try to put aside her bias and to report the facts as she knows them. I don't know that I've ever known a journalist who's tried harder to put aside their worldview and bias when reporting. So I think she does a good job. And her amandacoin.com is now it's a must read. I go to there before I go to adn.com, easily. And she has compiled the best and worst of Alaska politics of 2014. Best political radio ad of the Alaska campaign cycle was created for Representative Lynn Gaddis. The ad was produced by Art Hackney and his wife. It was about skinning rabbits with their bare teeth. Did you remember hearing that ad? I don't remember that ad.
No, I don't recall that
I don't think I remember hearing that one. Best television political ad. Coin writes it's a tie between Dan Sullivan and the ad he produced where Wayne Woods, who lost his son in combat, endorsed Mr. Sullivan. The best political ad also in a tie was Mark Begich's Super PAC, which is headed by my good friend Little Jimmy Lotsfeld, Alaska's first ad featuring a breast cancer survivor, which praised the Obamacare legislation. Worst television political ad. Can you guess? You want to take a guess, Brian?
The one Mark Begich put out?
Yeah, Jerry Active, where the detective says Dan Sullivan wanted these people murdered. It was not only the worst ad in our state, it was named by many as the worst ad in the country. And many said that's why Begich lost. I don't think that's why Begich lost, but certainly didn't help. Best political spokesperson, Lindsay Hobson, who is the daughter of Bill Walker, governor. Also, Fred Brown, a short run before relocating to Arkansas to help Tom Cotton's winning senatorial campaign, did a great job for Beach Treadwell. And Mikey Anderson served Dan Sullivan's campaign. So we'll give you some more of best and worst. Best government flack, best political decision, worst moment for a politician. We'll give you all that coming up. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel will be back Monday. We're on KOAN, KVNT. Here's the number, 569-1080. Give us your best political event of 2014. Send me an email, danfaganshow@icloud.com, danfaganshow@icloud.com, or 569-1080, 569-1080. Or 569-1080, 569-1080.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. KOAN.
You know, after a hard day at work and then shopping for the holidays, the last thing you want to do is slave over a hot stove. Well, don't worry about it. Relief from this hectic time of year is just a jingle away. Call 333-8000 and ring in the holidays with the Sicily Season Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. So relax and let Sicily's deliver hot, fresh, delicious pizza, pasta, calzones, wings, and salads right to your door. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Call 333-8000 and ask for the Season's Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. For the only 24-hour-a-day delivery in Alaska, call 333-8000 or save 20% by ordering online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's. Wishing you and yours a safe and happy holiday season.
Hey, it's Dr. Drew. A reminder that Loveline airs 10 to midnight and repeats midnight to 2. Twice as nice, second time around.
Twice is always as good as once.
I think that's right.
Wait, no.
Twice is better.
No, it's twice as good.
Be sure to check out the Hot Talk website, 1080KOAN.com.
It's Hot Talk KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Tune into Loveline Sunday through Thursdays beginning at 10 p.m. on Hot Talk KOAN.
At Anchorage Fracture and Orthopedic Clinic, we know that injuries occur when you least expect them. That's why we offer a walk-in clinic to treat patients suffering from acute orthopedic injuries and conditions. Available Monday through Friday from 12 to 8 p.m. and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're here when you need us. Call 907-341-3720 or learn more at www.afoc.com. Anchorage Fracture and Orthopedic Clinic, the strength of experience.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give them a call, 569-1080. KOAN.
Well, a beautiful morning here in South Central Alaska, December 31st, 2014. How about that? 2014. One more day left in this year. We're glad you're here. I'm Dan Fagan. Glen Biegel is off this morning. Be back on Monday. Our number, 569-1080. 569-1080. The best and worst of the political campaign in 2014. This is according to Amanda Coyne. Worst political spokesperson. Who do you think that is, Brian?
Boy, I guess I wouldn't know. Is this multiple choice?
You know this woman.
Sharon Leho?
F you, Brian.
Who?
F you.
F you?
F the job. F the job.
Oh, the girl from the...
That's right.
Yeah.
Charlotte Green.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't consider her a political spokesperson.
Well, she's the spokesperson for the marijuana people.
I guess so.
Yeah. I didn't mean to curse you out there. I was just giving you hands.
That was a good try. I kind of got it, but I thought you were giving me initials.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's funny.
Best political decision. Creation of the unity ticket. Worst moment for a politician. This one has to go, she says, to Representative Don Young, who managed to offend high school students by nonchalantly referring to bull sex. That's bull sex. When talking about gay marriage, and then went to speak nonchalantly about suicide while many of the students were still mourning a classmate's recent suicide. All this in one visit.
And he nearly kicked a couple of people's butts last year, too.
Well, he threatened, what's the guy's name who ran against him? The Marine guy?
Oh, yeah, Forrest. Wasn't he going to kill him?
Dunbar. He said that the last person that touched me, I killed or something.
I like that movie Stripes where the guy says, if any of you guys touch me, I'll kill you. Call me Francis, I'll kill you.
Francis. That is the best scene in a movie ever.
Oh, yeah.
You got Bill Murray, John. I could almost recite that whole scene.
Could, except for it's got some colorful racist language.
My favorite is John Candy when they're all sitting around there. And this is a movie about a group of misfit who joined the army, and they're all sitting around in the beginning of meeting everybody, and John Candy's like, many of you may not know this, but I've got a bit of a weight problem, so I thought I'd join the army, lose a few pounds. But the best, of course, is Bill Murray.
Yeah.
where he says, I'm going to offer my leadership skills to the platoon. And Sergeant Holker, he's like the big toe. You remember that speech?
Oh, man. Yeah.
And that Yahoo kid from Nebraska, and Bill Murray goes, man, I want to party with you, man. That's just such a great movie.
Yeah, I lent that to Ingrid here at the station, and she just gave it back to me. Yeah.
Did she enjoy it?
No, well, she's not from here, so she doesn't
Russian.
get the same. No, she's Lithuanian.
Oh, okay.
But she doesn't get the references, I think.
Oh, that movie is so funny.
But,
so funny.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, so Don Young is he pretty much wins that every year, I think. Worst political decision, Amanda Coyne writes. This one is a tie, she says. One of them goes to the decision made by Governor Parnell's administration to withhold media FOI, Freedom of Information requests on the National Guard documents. That was incredibly stupid. To withhold documents on the National Guard right before the election. Honestly. The second was Hollis French's decision to drop out of the governor's race and run for light governor. He ended up with neither and gave up his Senate seat to boot.
Oh.
I like Hollis French personally. I don't agree with probably anything that he believes, but I like him. And I'm sorry for my Tea Party friends who are foaming at the mouth, but I'm allowed to like who I want to like. Worst political expenditures. This is another one. This is huge. The two really bad expenditures that we know about so far were the Parnell's administration's campaign purchase of preemptive radio time to save a few dollars, which meant that it was knocked off the air, especially in a year when the Senate campaign was running. Now, this is what they did. This is what the Parnell folks did, Brian, and try to be frugal. As you know, when you buy radio ads, you can get it much cheaper if somebody else wants it and it gets preempted. You will lose the ad, but you get it at a much lower rate. So Parnell had very little exposure on radio because he bought these cheap spots that got preempted.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, who was the clown town with his campaign that made that decision?
Wow, because everybody has to pay the same rates, politically.
Yeah, well, you got to figure what happened was, this was before the Unity ticket arose. So they thought, well, we get preempted. Who cares? We're up 20 points.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. And then there was Ketchikan's legislative candidate Sherry Klein's purchase of Christmas cards with campaign funds well before the November 4th election, which she lost. Best decision made by voters. Now, here's what I love about Amanda Coyne. Not to repeal SB 21. Had the voters chose not to reject repealing SB 21 and to revert the state back to ACS, the state would be tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars poorer now due to declining oil revenues and budget-busting credits. Where is Bill Milikowski? Where is Hollis French, who I like? Where's Les Guerra? Where's Bill Walker? Where are all these people who said we should repeal or should not repeal or should repeal SB 21? Turns out we'd have far less money in the Treasury now had people voted no on 2. Where are they now?
That's the unfair thing about politics is, the two sides, just like in football, they do come and they do battle. One of them wins, one of them loses, and the loser just runs off and never mentions it again, right?
Yeah.
Please don't ever bring that up. I'm going away now.
And that happens on both the left and the right.
Yeah. Well, I said the loser, so yeah, it's horrible though.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you guys won this time. Let's go for it. We're on your team. Let's just do the best. What people wanted.
Yeah. Best dressed. Obviously, I would have won this had I been in the political arena, but I'm not, so I didn't. Former Governor Sean Parnell won this last year because he's always so neat and tidy.
I was going to say him, and also Dan Sullivan was always wearing a nice, clean shirt.
Do you think Sean Parnell has ever worn an article of clothing that has been wrinkled?
I hope not.
I don't think
that
he
would
has.
be embarrassing.
Do you think Sean Parnell has ever
Actually, I know he has.
I don't think
I
he
mean,
has.
here's the thing: is he's a real Alaskan guy, but then he's also a corporate kind of CEO type. And he goes out hunting. He wears jeans. He does all those things.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about dressing casually.
Yeah.
I'm talking about grabbing a T-shirt.
Oh, okay.
That's wrinkled.
Yeah.
And throwing it on and driving to the store to get.
They're all probably pressed and done for him.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's probably pretty nice.
Do you think there's a piece of lint in his entire home?
No.
I don't think so. I don't think he's ever. I would imagine from age 1 up till now, his house has never been messy. Even when he was single, he just strikes me as the kind of guy who's super neat and tidy, like a Felix Unger in The Odd Couple.
He's organized. He's got it together.
Everything's folded neatly.
Yeah.
Everything's put a place for everything and everything in its place.
That would be you and him would be the odd couple. I was gonna say, sorry, Dan, you're wearing a T-shirt today. Your computer's got messy fingerprints all over it.
Oh, he would kill me.
I actually have walked in there and cleaned it in between breaks.
6 months with me, and him and I living together. He would absolutely kill me.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But your shirts always look, pressed and clean, or maybe they're just new.
Yeah, I never wear an article of clothing twice.
I haven't seen you do that yet.
Yeah, no, I'm always I buy it, wear it.
That's why I'm with socks and underwear. You wear them once.
Really?
Yeah, you just throw them away.
How many pair of underwear do you have?
One. And then I'll buy a new pair tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding.
I honestly have about 120.
Yeah, I maybe have 15, so I can go a couple weeks without doing laundry.
Well, what I do is I send my laundry out.
Me too.
And so the more underwear I have, the longer I can wait between sending my my laundry out.
Yeah, but then your laundry bill's more.
Well, that's true.
See, I have to do that because I don't have a washer and dryer at my place.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go and I figured out doing it on my own cost me about the same because I bought 4 sodas and 3 candy bars while I was waiting at the laundry place.
Exactly.
If I would have just paid the extra, they would have done it for me.
And plus, anybody over 40 shouldn't be doing their own laundry.
Well, I would definitely, if I had my own laundry, I would do everybody's laundry in the house. But I'm the only one that lives there. But yeah, I mean, I like doing my own laundry. I just don't want to do it at the laundry place.
Best shoes.
Best shoes.
Take a guess.
Boy, that would be Sean Parnell, maybe again.
Lisa McGuire.
Oh.
Best shoes. They got a picture of them too.
That's a female's opinion.
Yeah, that's Amanda Coyne's best and worst of the 2014 Alaska politics campaign. 6:59. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel will be back Monday. Our number 569-1080. 569-1080. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you on this 31st day of September 2014. It's New Year's Eve. 2014 is New Year's Eve.
In Australia, of course, Americans will party later.
People have been cooped up and they've done too much family, eaten too much, and it's just like, yes, we're out.
Terry Dollar's a New Year's Eve organizer in Raleigh, North Carolina. In New York City, they're getting ready to drop the ball later on.
Counterterrorism forces are all going to be patrolling the streets with bomb-detecting canines, heavily armed units, and roof surveillance teams. And as we have seen this entire holiday season here in the city, there will be even more beefed-up security tonight.
Fox's Julie Banderas in Times Square. It's also now January 1st in Singapore, where the Air Asia flight was headed before it crashed into the sea on Sunday. Fox News Radio's Alistair Wanklin has the latest on the search live from our Asia Bureau.
And today, rescuers pulling several more bodies from the sea. They said one was a flight attendant wearing the uniform of Air Asia. Earlier reports of a corpse wearing a life jacket may be inaccurate. Sonar reportedly appears to show wreckage on the seabed, but strong wind and waves meant divers were unable to go down today to inspect it, and it's forecast to remain rough for 2 more days. U.S. sailors aboard the USS Sampson have been helping to search for debris. Dave?
Alistair, nearly 1,000 migrants who were stranded at sea have been rescued by the Italian Coast Guard. Smugglers had put it on autopilot, the ship, and it was just miles from crashing onto shore in Italy. Authorities are trying to figure out if those smugglers are now hiding among the migrants. This flu season keeps getting worse.
We're seeing way more prescriptions for Tamiflu this year.
Anthony Bubelow is a pharmacist in Washington, D.C. The Centers for Disease Control says it's now a flu epidemic, widespread in 36 states with 15 deaths. And the flu vaccine this year won't be as effective on the most common strain. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost you thousands. The Quicken Loans PMI Advantage is our lender-paid mortgage insurance program. You see, we pay the PMI so you don't have to. PMI Advantage can give you more options, more flexibility, and may save you thousands when you refinance. To learn more, call us at 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN, or visit us at QuickenLoans.com.
Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender licensed all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
As a retired teacher, I look for ways to save money for the things I love, like traveling the world. Medicare plans change each year. Fortunately, my Health Mart pharmacist helped me understand my insurance, saving me money on prescriptions. And they can help you too. My pharmacist cares about my health and the things I love, whatever that might be.
Health Mart, caring for you and about you. Visit healthmart.com for the locally owned pharmacy near you.
There are 5 more empty cells.
You know, after a hard day at work and then shopping for the holidays, the last thing you want to do is slave over a hot stove. Well, don't worry about it. Relief from this hectic time of year is just a jingle away. Call 333-8000 and ring in the holidays with the Sicily Season Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. So relax and let Sicily's deliver hot, fresh, delicious pizza, pasta, calzones, wings, and salads right to your door. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Call 333-8000 and ask for the Season's Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. For the only 24-hour-a-day delivery in Alaska, call 333-8000 or save 20% by ordering online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's. Wishing you and yours a safe and happy holiday season.
Geico RV presents Reflections from the Road.
I love the great outdoors and saving money. So I made the easy switch to Geico RV insurance.
Which was a whole lot easier than eating my wife's cooking for a week.
Rob, I can hear you.
Sometimes I think she can read my thoughts.
Yeah, you were thinking about Geico RV insurance.
Man, she's good.
Well, you are saying everything out loud.
I meant to do an internal monologue.
Geico, for your RV, trailer, or camper. See how much you could save.
When I grew up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can go your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve. which is why your local country financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Happy holidays from Specialty Truck and Auto. Please help me make sure our military members know how much you're appreciated this holiday season. While you're out Christmas shopping or celebrating with family and friends, join me in shaking the hand of a military member and give a heartfelt thank you each and every chance you get. If you happen to see a military member out enjoying a meal, you might consider quietly paying for their meal as a sign of your gratitude for the sacrifices they make for each of us every day, which allows each of us the freedom to celebrate this holiday season in whatever fashion we choose. Thank you from Specialty Truck and Auto.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080KOAN.com.
Well, good morning to you on this 31st day of the year 2014. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel will be back on Monday. We're broadcasting to you this morning on KOAN 95.1 FM, 1080 AM in Anchorage. Also out in the Valley, we're on 92.5 FM, KVNT. Also 1020 AM, KVNT in the Valley. Our phone number, 569-1080. 569-1080. We are also streaming live, audio, video. That's right, you can actually watch the show live on the internet at danfagan.us. danfagan.us. And again, our number, 569-1080. Send me an email at danfagan, F-A-G-A-N, danfaganshow at iCloud.com. Rebecca Logan with the Alliance will be joining us a little bit later on in the broadcast. I love this. I love this. I absolutely love this. The Alaska Dispatch this morning, Nathaniel Hertz, our good friend, is reporting that a faction of Republicans in the House has formed a Freedom Caucus. It will focus on states' rights, Medicaid, and budgeting as the state faces a fiscal crisis. Senator and the conservative Matt Sue, the caucus will provide members with a forum to compare notes and promote conservative ideas without the constraints of a more political setting, says Wes Keller. He, of course, is a Republican representative out in the Valley. It helps us to be able to test your talking points on people that aren't going to throw you out, he said. You need a good sounding board sometimes. That's the bottom line. There are only 3 other members in the Freedom Caucus at this point. Laura Reinbold, she's the chair. Shelley Hughes, Representative Palmer, and Wasilla Representative Kathy Tilton. Reinbold said more invitations have been extended and early meeting attracted additional attendees, though none has joined yet. No effort has been made to organize a similar caucus in the Senate. It'll be interesting to see who wants to join the Freedom Caucus. You know, I know that the media will portray the Freedom Caucus as a bunch of right-wing nut jobs, Tea Partiers. So there is some cost to the legislator who is tempted to join the Freedom Caucus. I can tell you this, if I was a legislator, I would be the first in line. The group's loose rules cap weekly meetings at an hour and ask members to become issue experts, Laura Reinbold said. Rumors that members would be required to bring a Bible to meetings were not true. See, this is what I'm talking about. The media just comes at you all they can, though they're encouraged to bring any form of wisdom. Reinbold added, she gave one of her favorite quotes as an example: if you want your government to leave you alone, don't leave your government alone. When you look at the Founding Fathers, ladies and gentlemen, and the dialogues they had, God was clearly at the center of most of them, including the Bible. Today, with our secular media, you're painted as some kind of freak. Laura Reinbold says our ultimate goal is to protect the rights of people and defend freedom. She says the group doesn't aim to compete with the Republican majority organization. It simply will examine issues through conservative eyes. Governor Bill Walker, for example, wants to expand Medicaid insurance program to give about 40,000 Alaskans access to health coverage, but Reinbold pointed out that 151,000 people are already enrolled in the program. We have to ask, is that sustainable? With the national debt topping $18 trillion. Shelley Hughes expects the group to make the state budget its biggest focus. Alaska faces a $3.5 billion deficit this year. The legislature's Republican leadership sent Walker a letter last week urging him to take immediate action to cut the budget. I like it. Freedom Caucus. We need to start using the word freedom. If you want to know what defines the left versus the right, it really is the prioritization of freedom. That's the battleground. Do you favor control, security, safety, comfort, or do you favor freedom? That's the battle line. That's the heart and soul of the battle between the left and the right. What's more important to you? Do you want to have free lunches at school? All your needs taken care of? You'll never have the need or want, no matter the decision you make in life. Or do you want freedom? You can't have both. You can't have both. You cannot say that we will take care of everyone cradle to grave without making some people less free. You just can't do it. So you got to pick an either or. There's a balance. Obviously, people who are disabled, mentally ill, elderly, they should be taken care of. But what we do in America is we say to every individual, no matter what, you don't want to work, you don't have to work. We'll take care of you. There was a guy who used to work at, or used to sit in the bar at Chili's. I knew a guy who bartended over there. Guy drove a Corvette. He was like 50-something. He was there every night. I said to her, I said, what's that dude do? Oh, he's on disability payments. Well, what's his problem? Well, I don't know. He just gets disability payments. When you look into what has happened with disability payments in this country now, literally the criteria is as low as, do you suffer mood swings? That's right. If you go to the government, you're 53 years old, and you say, I have severe mood swings, they will put you on disability. And you will get a check every month. Now, the only way to do that is to take the freedom away from somebody else. You got to get money to help that guy go drink every night at Chili's. And of course, Chili's is out of business now. So you got to go somewhere from some family down the street with 3 kids trying to raise money for their family, put dentures on their kids. You got to take some of their cash and give it to the guy driving the Corvette so he can put his gas in his Corvette and go down and drink 5 or 6 beers a night. You're taking freedom away from the family down the street to give Mr. Disability with mood swings his free cash.
But there is good news.
What's that?
Chili's opened up again in the Diamond Center.
Yes, that's right. And I've been there. So our Corvette disability guy now has a place to go.
I saw him there.
You did not?
Yeah, I go there for the chips. They're really good.
You don't know what this guy looks like.
No.
He was there every night. Every night. And they even he'd go to Vegas, you know. He just living the life.
It's good. Yeah, I have some mental mood swings. What's that number to call?
I'll give it to you. We'll get you. We'll get you a check.
Let's get hooked up.
Well, let's just go down to the disability office today. You know they've got ads now on TV.
Oh, man. At least we don't have to find somebody to do the work for us.
No, they were recruiting you because you deserve disability payments. Called Dewey, Chino, and Howe. 714. And how? 714.
Park. Party to the sounds of For more information, sponsored by Absolute Vodka, PBR, and the Odom Corporation. Alaskans serving Alaskans for 80 years. Always live responsibly.
If you're ready for the movies, there's just one place to go. Check out movies8.com. It's showtime. Movie times, previews, and more. Get tickets, win stuff. Lots of information to explore. Great restaurants. Now you'll know just where to go. Before and after every show. Check out movies8.com. It's showtime.
Not all talk shows have the best guests, and not all talk shows have a good time. But then again, not all talk shows are Fagan and Biegel.
Get rid of the people who are causing the problem, Democrats. That's what we do. We get rid of Biegel. We get rid of Harry Reid. We get rid of Barack Obama. We get rid of Nancy Pelosi. That's how we change it. We don't get rid of the Republicans. Are you freaking kidding me?
Fagan and Biegel. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on Hot Talk, KOAN. You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
Responsibly. Fagan, Biegel. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. The Talk of the Valley, KVNT.
All right, welcome back. 7:17. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel will be back on Monday. We're broadcasting to you on KOAN, KVNT, also streaming live on danfagan.us. We're streaming live video and audio. Our phone number, 569-1080. 569-1080. We're also taking your email, danfaganshow at iCloud.com. danfaganshow at iCloud.com. A handful of legislators in the Valley starting up a Freedom Caucus. I just love listening to the leftists who comment on the stories on the date ADN. Stephen Kahn, who's a kind of a Ralph Nader guy, I know him, I've had him on my show. He says this coalition is about recolonization of Alaska, freeing the elite and its corporate friends to rip and run. Class warfare has been declared. So what Mr. Kahn is basically saying is that, they're going to let the oil companies rape and pillage us, rip and run, take their profits. That's their worldview. Here's Susan Edwards writes, I love the name Freedom Caucus. I'm more than sure that it will be freedom from reason and freedom for the privileged. It would be better to call them the Monkey Wrench Caucus. Isn't that amazing how that if you're conservative and you're for freedom, you're for what they would call the privileged or the wealthy? I don't understand how they draw that connection. I don't understand how, if you want less government, you're a shill of corporations, or you're only battling and promoting policies that help the wealthy. I don't understand I'm missing a link there. Because, first of all, if you're envious of the wealthy, then become wealthy. This is America. I'm so tired of hearing this, we're stuck. We can't make any money. We can't buy a house. We can't do this. You're living in a country. You're living in a time where if you really apply yourself and do your best and make the right decisions and work hard, you can do anything. So those of you who are walking around in this victimization mode. I have no choice in life. I'm stuck where I am. I wish I could become wealthy, but I can't. That's a cop-out. That's just not true. How bad do you want it? What sacrifices are you willing to make? What self-gratification are you willing to delay and suspend? How disciplined are you willing to become with your finances? What risks are you willing to take? So many people, they'd never take a risk in life because you could fail if you take a risk. But I would submit to you the only way to become excellent and above average is to risk. So I don't understand this envy of the wealthy. If anything, the wealthy should be admired because they have taken risks. They have worked hard. They've suspended self-gratification. They've made wise decisions. And we demonize them. I don't get that. I suppose it makes us feel better about ourselves. And somebody told me just the other day, well, we'll never be able to afford a house in Anchorage. Well, why not? Are you giving up? You're not going to try to make more money and excel and take some risks? That defeatist attitude, I don't understand that. This is the United States of America. Look, I will give you that under our current president, there's been an erosion of our freedom and our ability to create wealth for ourselves. I'll give you that. And especially for small business owners. And that's really, look, let's be honest. If you want to step out of the average and move into the above average and the wealthier and the opportunity to do more for people, you're going to probably have to do it as an entrepreneur. And with Obamacare and all the regulations that this president has brought upon us, it's becoming more and more difficult. I'll give you that. But we still, even with someone who adopts Marxist worldviews like President Obama, we still have a better opportunity than any other person on the planet and any other country on the planet to create wealth for ourselves in this country. Oh, we're going to always have the same job till we retire and it sucks and we got to do it and that's just the way it is. Really? Why don't you get creative? Why don't you find a niche somewhere you can fill and become excellent at it? And then take a risk and see what happens. Well, we just going to always have to work the same job until we retire, and it's going to be tough, but we'll just try to eke it out. Really? You live in America, man. You live in the United States of America. The United States of America. I look at my friend Keith Montauk. Gets to work every morning, 4:30. 4:30 in the morning. Stays all day. He wants it. He wants it. Employs a ton of people. Has the best automobile mechanic shop in town. Is able to do many things for our military personnel, financially and time-wise, because he wants it. He's not going to sit on his hands saying, woe is me. You can do anything in this country. Now, this message that I'm preaching right now, this would end the Democratic Party if Americans would embrace it. I can do anything. You can do anything. It just takes hard work. It just takes determination. And really one of the hardest parts is taking risk. Risk is so huge to life. I'm telling you, if you're not willing to take a risk that could cost you, that could cause you to fail and be embarrassed, that's why I really admire all politicians, every one of them, for at least running. Can you imagine the courage it must take to put your name out there and to run for office and then you lose? How embarrassing. I mean, it's embarrassing when you're on the playground and they're picking teams and you get picked last. Not that that ever happened to me. I'm obviously that never happened to me ever once, not one time, obviously. I was always, first, always, every time, without exception. But to lose something that's like an election where thousands of your fellow citizens said, nope, we don't want you. What a courageous act it is to run for office. And yet what do? We demonize our politicians. We make fun of them. We ridicule them. We I admire them. I don't always agree with every one of them, obviously. I admire anybody who takes a risk. I'm telling you, folks, I'm telling you. One of the keys to life is how much are you willing to risk? How much courage do you have to do something that could cause you to fail? I don't care what it is throughout history that has caused great change in our culture for the better. It always came by someone somewhere who said in his or her heart, deep inside their heart, I'm going to take a risk. And oh my goodness, if this doesn't work out, I am screwed. But I'm going to do it anyway. That's the complete opposite of what the Democratic Party will tell you. The Democratic Party will tell you you're a victim, you're going to lose, you have no chance. The big corporations. I heard someone say on the radio the other day, the reason Dan Sullivan got elected to the Senate is because the World Bank leaders put him in there. Well, what's the use of trying? They control everything. When you got Karl Rove handpicking all the candidates, why even vote? That message, that defeatism, it's poison. It's poison. You can change the political process. You can make a difference. You can make as much money as you want. And I got news for you. Most people that I know who are very successful financially, they're not doing it to hoard a bunch of cash in the mattress or under their bed. They want the wealth to be able to create jobs and opportunity for other people. You look at a guy like Keith Montanak, all the mechanics that he employs and the kids that those mechanics are able to feed as a result of Keith's risking and hard working. There's great satisfaction that comes from that. It's not about hoarding cash. It's not about being greedy. I don't get it. I don't get the left. I don't understand why they hate the successful, why they're angry at the successful. What's the deal, man? I've said this before, but the first leftist who will show me with documentation that they went to their immediate supervisor and asked for a pay cut, then I will accept their hatred for the rich. I'll say, okay, you're living the life, you're walking the talk. But until I see a leftist that can show me that they were making $25 an hour and they went in and said, I only want $18 an hour because I just don't really need $25 an hour. Then I'll accept their hatred for the rich and say, okay, it's justifiable. I understand why. Now you don't like the rich. 569-1080. The Rebecca Logan, Executive Director of the Alliance, is next. 569-1080. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel will be back on Monday. This is next. 569-1080. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel will be back on Monday.
And now, the Fox News Business Report, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Anchorage. The best or nothing.
Business network stocks are modestly higher on the final trading day of 2014, although energy shares are falling along with crude oil prices. The major indices are on track to end the year near record levels. At around 11 a.m. Eastern, the Dow Industrials are up 40 points. Investors are looking over one final round of economic reports for the year. Initial jobless claims rose more than expected last week to 298,000, but claims still remained under 300,000 for the fifth straight week. And pending home sales, a barometer of future purchases, came in stronger than expected last month. And Uncle Sam is giving U.S. Airlines another way to raise money. The Department of Transportation has adopted a new rule that allows carriers to charge fees on large musical instruments like double basses and tubas that travel in their own seat. Harps have to go in the cargo hold. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jolene Kent.
This holiday season, give the most eternal, unique gift of the year. Name a star after someone. I'm Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, we'll name a star after anyone on your gift list. The star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office, and we will send an incredible personalized gift package. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com for the gift that shines forever.
With KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. Small personal use fireworks are being permitted in Mat-Su this year in celebration of the New Year, although some communities have set restrictions on hours and mandated minimum distances from healthcare facilities and schools, while Anchorage does not allow personal use fireworks. Finally, as Ann Kenda explains, Alaska is bringing back a popular license plate design.
A grizzly bear design hasn't been offered on Alaska license plates since 7 days, but a measure to bring the bears back passed in the state legislature at almost the last minute of the 2014 session. By the spring, drivers will be able to choose either bears or a blue and gold design that represents the state flag colors.
Finally, one of the biggest names in long-distance dog mushing has signed up for the 1,000-mile Yukon Quest. Four-time champion Lance Mackey says changes among his kennel staff led to the decision to register for the race. It starts on Saturday, February 7th. That's your Hot Talk News update.
It will be a windy day today with snow, much of the time accumulating 2 to 4 inches, a high 37. Then tonight, partly cloudy, low 22. For New Year's Day, tomorrow we'll see periods of clouds and sunshine with a high 28. Patchy clouds at night, low of 12. For Friday, a blend of sun and clouds, high 19 and a low 10. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
From our police and firefighters to our first-line responders, from our schools to our hospitals, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the Alaska Police and Fire Chaplains Ministries is here for you. Please be here for us by donating part of your PFD when it matters. Pick, click, give for Alaska Police and Fire Chaplains Ministries today.
When you pick, click, give with the Alaska Zoo in mind, you're picking Alaskan animals that have been injured or orphaned in the wild and now have a second chance at life. You're clicking for education for students near and far, and you're giving to everyone who visits and is awed by polar bears swimming and wolves howling.
Pick, click, give is here. It's your chance to start something big. Big Brothers Big Sisters helps children realize their potential and build great futures. We put children on the path to success, strengthening our communities, and we couldn't do any of it without you. Please support Big Brothers Big Sisters today and pick, click, give.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Do you remember that Beatles song? If the rain comes, they'll run and hide their heads. You know which one I'm talking about. Well, if that's you and you're inside your home or office, it's time to call Earhart Roofing. Call Earhart Roofing for all your roofing needs. Flat or pitched, large or small, Earhart Roofing will do the job quickly, and they'll do it right. Earhart Roofing, big enough to serve you and still small enough to care. Call 345-5555. That's 345-5555.
Glen Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist for Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call, 569-1080.
The Valley's only rush hour news and political forum. Are you ready to rumble? Tune in to the Tom Anderson Show on KVNT.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning on the Talk of the Valley, KVNT, 92.5 FM, 20 AM.
Well, good morning to you here on this 31st day of the month of December 2014, New Year's Eve. Welcome to the Dan Fagan Glen Biegel Show. Glen's off today. Want to remind you about our good friend Mike Daniels and his team over at Country Financial. The folks at Country Financial have been helping Alaskans for many years getting from point A to point B, which is a successful retirement, worry-free retirement. Country representatives, there are 13 locations here in Alaska, by the way, 5 in Anchorage, 5 in the Valley. They're so insightful and so knowledgeable and wise about financial matters. They're going to ask you some questions. And I can promise you, once you sit down with a country representative, you're going to think, well, I never thought of that. I never even thought of that option. It is well worth your time to make an appointment with a country representative here in Alaska. Here's the number, 866-COUNTRY, 866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Happy to welcome our friend Rebecca Logan, Executive Director of the Alliance. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You look great.
Thank you.
You got a glow about you.
It's the end of a year.
Is that it?
And the beginning of a new year.
I know you've been. I follow you on Facebook. I know you've been getting out a little bit, doing a little bit of traveling.
Yeah, Mexico and Arizona.
Get some sunshine.
Yes, it feels good.
Must be nice.
Of course. It's like summertime here, right?
Isn't this weather amazing?
It's so unbelievable. It's like 42 degrees outside right now.
I don't know if you would agree with me. I don't care about the roads being slick. I like warm.
Yeah, me too.
Anything below 20 is just unacceptable.
Yep, absolutely.
Did you see in the paper yesterday that 2014, as long as they've been tracking it, this is the first time we've not gotten below zero in Anchorage?
I know. Isn't that amazing?
Love it.
Yeah, I do too. And it's so atypical, from what people actually think. Whenever you tell people you live in Alaska,
right,
they automatically assume that you're freezing all the time, And I grew up in Wisconsin. It's cold in Wisconsin.
Oh, I bet.
It's a lot colder than it is here, but it's great to have these temperatures.
But the winters are probably shorter.
Yeah, they are. And of course you have like those really beautiful, beautiful Indian summers, into October where it's just absolutely beautiful and can be in the 70s.
Yes. Well, you could call this an Indian summer for us.
That's true. You could.
Yeah, not bad at all. That snow's melting.
I know. A little bit of snow and warm temps.
Yeah. Well, major victory with Prop 1. Huge. I know you guys played a big role in that. And we should say, for those who don't know, most do, the Alliance is an organization that basically has members who work in the oil and gas support industry. Right. You're not the producers, the oil companies.
Right.
Those like Udelhoven.
Yep.
CH2
on the Hill, ASRC.
There's a ton of them.
I mean, there are. I mean, we have more than, we're up to almost 600 members now.
Yeah. I asked you if you had read a column by Craig Medred this morning in the Dispatch, and you said you hadn't, but basically what he writes is that we've blown it in Alaska by not diversifying our economy more, by not taxing mining and other industries and fish more, and now that the price of oil is dropping, we have no one to blame but ourselves. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, and I think the scenario that we're in right now is going to force us to get pretty creative about what we're going to do. I've been up here for 25 years, so I didn't survive the 80s when things were really bad, and there's still a lot of people here who did, so they remember that. But we're going to be forced to make decisions about diversifying our economy.
It is funny because when you talk to people who are in their 70s and 80s and 90s now, who experienced the Great Depression, it's so fundamentally changed their outlook on on money.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think it's the same for Alaskans who were here, and I wasn't here either, because it was pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, you hear the stories from everybody about people just leaving their keys in the door and leaving the house, and yeah.
So what can we learn from these? I mean, really, if we could pay a 75% state income tax, and we're not going to be able to fund government.
No, we're not.
So how can you say we should diversify? What's there to what could we do?
Well, I mean, diversify is a long-term plan, right? That's not just going to happen overnight. So there are a couple parts to that. I mean, the first thing that we do is we have to be wise managers of our money and the assets that we have now, and I feel like we are in a great position. We're facing low oil prices, which gives us a temporary huge budget shortfall, right?
Yes.
But we have the ability to work through that because of the assets that we have and the money that we have. And so first we need to be wise stewards of what we've got and make good decisions about how we're going to get through that temporary cash flow problem. And then at the same time that you're doing that, parallel to that, you have to be thinking about how you are going to diversify your economy, because that's the long term, right? That's going to take 10, 15, 20 years to get to the point where you have anything that even remotely begins to compensate for what we're getting from oil taxes. And so that's a long-term plan. And so there have to be people who are committed to doing that, and people who are committed to doing that for the duration.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you rely on the legislature to be the leaders on that, since they're, they have to run for office every 2 or 4 years and they're changing out frequently. But there has to be somebody who's dedicated to doing that.
Like a governor.
It could be a governor. But again, we tend to only have people who plan for the term that they're there.
Yes.
And that's what hurts us.
Yeah. There's no long-term interest.
No.
Yeah. Well, I have not yet bought into, because you've been here a long time.
I've been here for like 25 years.
Yeah, well, that's longer than I've been here, but I've heard the "we're about to fall off the cliff" speech many a times, right? And it never really came true. Because I guess except for back in that time in the 80s, but I've not bought into the "we're about to fall off the cliff" thing yet. But I do think there'll have to be some changes. And it seems to me, Rebecca, we're talking to Rebecca Logan, executive director with the Alliance, that if politicians and the governor are not willing to cut, the easiest route for them, clearly not the best route for the state, but the easiest route for them politically would be to go after big oil. Because you can't get an income tax politically. You can't touch the permanent fund. That's got to scare the industry.
Well, I think the tendency, I think it would. I think the industry has probably been there before, right?
Yeah.
Because they are the only place that people can turn to for immediate cash,
right? Unfortunately.
But hopefully we learned our lesson when we passed ACEs and then lost investment. But, hopefully there are, the governor and the legislators who are there now are aware that there are other opportunities, right? That there isn't, again, we can wisely manage the assets that we have, and that help us get through the short term, it gives us a short term bridge on when we have these deficits because of low oil prices until we get more production.
Are you and those you speak to in the support industry convinced that the prognosticators are right and that oil prices are going to stay low, or do you believe that we honestly have no idea they could shoot up to $120 next month?
It's such a new thing that I haven't spent a lot of time talking to a lot of our members about that. I think that's a developing conversation, but I think most people feel like where we're at now is where we're going to be for a while.
Yeah, because the supply is so strong.
Exactly. Yeah, and that we should get comfortable at that level.
Yeah.
We're going to have Marianne Kaw, who I love. She's the chief economist for ConocoPhillips. She's the keynote speaker at our lunch at Meet Alaska next Friday, and I'm really looking forward to what she has to say, her global perspective on oil and gas.
And your lunch is when?
Well, next Friday we have our big energy conference and trade show. It's Friday, January 9th, and so she'll be speaking at the lunch about that. And she's wonderful. We've had her here before, and she's just so brilliant. And so I look forward to her.
And people can get tickets to that?
Yes, they can go on our website and register.
Which is?
AlaskaAlliance.com.
We'll continue with Rebecca Logan. She is the executive director of the Alliance. Take calls for 569-1080, 745. Director of the Alliance. Take calls for 569-1080, 745.
KOAN. Anchorage Downtown Partnership is throwing a New Year's Eve celebration that you don't want to miss. You could be part of this festive occasion to kick off Anchorage's New Year's Eve celebration is fun, family-friendly, and free event in Town Square, held on December 31st from 5 to 8 p.m. Enjoy live music by local bands such as H3 and the Spinners, street performers, food trucks, light shows, and more. Last but not least, the show-stopping fireworks spectacular that will end the evening with a bang! This premier New Year's Eve celebration is the only show in town with the official New Year's Eve fireworks. The fun begins at 5 p.m. in Town Square Park on December 31st and ends at 8 p.m. with the Anchorage Downtown Partnership Fireworks Spectacular. You don't want to miss out. For more information on this event, please visit anchoragedowntown.org or call 907-279-5650. Brought to you by Anchorage Downtown Partnership, Visit Anchorage, the Alaska Railroad, Linden Transport, and Alaska Integrated Media.
I've got almost 6 years in the Army.
10 great years.
I joined in 06. Family really wants to be settled in one place.
I get so much experience in technical training in the Army. Now I want to turn that into a civilian career.
I'm ready to go to college now.
Get the best of both worlds in the Army National Guard. Serve your country and your community part-time while you live your life as a full-time civilian. Visit nationalguard.com or talk to your RCCC about making the transition.
Sponsored by the Alaska National Guard, aired by the Alaska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Alaskan defender of family, firearms, and the freedom of speech, Eddie Burke.
I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care who you're married to. I don't care what goes on in your private life. The only thing I care about is how you're going to vote, because that's the only thing that affects me.
Eddie Burke and Friends on Hot Talk, KOAN, 95.1 FM, 1080 AM. Hot Talk, KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080KOAN.com.
For more information on this event, please visit anchoragedowntown.org or call 907-279-5650. Brought to you by Anchorage Downtown Partnership, Visit Anchorage, the Alaska Railroad, Linden Transport, and Alaska Integrated Media.
Fagan and Biegel, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m.
7:47 here on a Tuesday morning, Wednesday. Thank you for that. Wednesday morning.
I was going to say, don't mess with me. I think it's Wednesday.
New Year's Eve. You got Rebecca Logan, executive director of the Alliance, is here. You got big New Year's Eve plans?
Yeah, we do have fun. I've got my daughter home from college,
Nice.
and then I've got my daughter who lives here, and they've got a bunch of friends here that are staying at my house. I have a house full of teenagers.
Oh, boy.
And so we're going on a big sled ride this afternoon.
Oh, that's great.
And then having a party at my house tonight. So.
That's awesome.
Or I'm chaperoning them, I should say.
Do you like the whole New Year's Eve resolution thing? Do you get into any of that, or?
I do. I mean, I think it's a good time. I think it just is a good opportunity for you to sit back and kind of reflect, okay, on how was this year and what can I do better next year. So
Yeah.
I always personally make resolutions.
How often do you fulfill them?
There are some that I fail at.
Yeah.
One of the things I've learned is to be broad in scope, not pin myself down to.
Good.
Like my New Year's resolution for this year is people, not things. Because I say this to my kids
Oh, that's
all the
so
time
good.
about, things don't matter.
So
I mean,
true.
and so, and I've done in like the last 5 years, I've gone through this whole purge thing where I don't have a lot of things. And the
Yes.
things I have, I don't care about. I mean, if
That's
something
awesome.
happens to them, I just don't care. And so I always say to them, people, not things. And so my resolution this year is to really, really focus on that.
I love that. Life's really all about relationships.
You know what it is?
It's not about status. These are nice. It's not about your job. It's not about your career, your reputation. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's important.
Mm-hmm.
It's about your people you care about, people who care about you, treating people well, having them treat you well. That's really all life's about.
You know what it is? And I mean, and as we all know, that requires time, right?
Yes.
If you're
Sacrifice.
if you're gonna have good relationships with people,
Yes.
you have to work at it. You just can't expect it just to happen.
It has to be a priority.
And so that's, in my mind, the best thing to put your time into.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's the most fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you've had a pretty good year. I know
we've had a busy year.
You did, but I think we really dodged a bullet there with Prop 1.
Yeah. Know that if we were under ACEs right now, we'd be getting even less revenue than we are.
Amazing. Where's Mr. Wilikowski on that? I haven't heard him come out and
I haven't
admit
heard
his.
a lot of people. I've heard some people say, well, even though it's good that we have more money, it's bad
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine?
I know. Okay, and I haven't figured that one out yet, but I think for the most part, people understand that it's a good thing we're not under ACEs right now.
So if we're talking to Rebecca Logan, executive director of the Alliance. So if we're going to take the governor at his word, and I think we should at this point.
Yep.
He's not going to change the tax structure to the oil industry, correct?
Correct. I mean, he made it very clear. He made it very clear to us when we met. He met with our board.
Even though prices are low, things are still doing pretty well. I saw, was it Hillcorp just put in a new thing for the Liberty
Field? I know,
Field.
for Liberty. That was
That's
great
huge.
to see that. That is huge.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
If we get a new president, it'll be incredible things for us as far as offshore drilling.
Right.
Potentially ANWR. Who knows?
Absolutely.
Are you optimistic? Do you think we're
very
heading...
optimistic. I mean, I think, things don't just happen overnight, as we know, the change, especially in resource development issues. And so, we made a lot of progress this year with the change in the Senate. Now we have Senator Murkowski in such a powerful position. I mean, I just...
Chair of Energy.
I almost get chills when I think about that,
Yeah.
And we actually have somebody from the U.S. Senate Energy Committee speaking at Meet Alaska just to talk about what's they've got on their plate. Now that they have control, the Republicans do that committee. So that's very exciting. And I think we need to. The next step is that we've got to have a president who's going to truly support OCS. Okay, so it's one thing for President Obama to say, we have all these lease sales, blah 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 blah. People are buying. Well, if you can't develop, it doesn't matter, right? And that's where we've been. And so we as Alaskans really. Pipeline. We have
the pipeline. That's
that.
The key.
Oh my gosh, we've got to be looking at that.
It will extend the life of the pipeline indefinitely.
Yeah, we need to get more oil in the pipe, and that's the way it's going to happen.
And I don't understand this, and maybe this is just my friends on the left that have this viewpoint, but I don't understand why we've given up on ANWR. I don't think that that's so much off the table.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I don't know. I'd have to think about what I think, because there are other things that we can focus on that are more realistic, I think. People have made ANWR kind of the buzzword for the Sierra Club and the groups that hate development. ANWR is their battleground. Okay, so that's fine. So they've staked that out. We have other opportunities. I haven't given up on it, but I see that there are other places to get things and easier to get.
But we are fully in control. The Republicans are in the House and the Senate.
Right.
And we get a pro-development president. There'd be no reason to not open.
Well, if we had a pro-development president, it'll be interesting what happens with the Keystone Pipeline, right? So let's say right away that House and Senate approve it. Is President Obama going to veto that?
Well, I was talking to somebody who's kind of a D.C. insider, and he was telling me that he thought what the Republicans are going to do is they're going to make Mr. Obama veto all this incredible legislation that the American people are for, Keystone being one of them.
Keystone being a huge one.
Yeah, tax reform,
right?
All this stuff. And so it'll clearly delineate the difference between the Republicans and Democrats in the next presidential election. All these great policies, all these great bills will be for Mr. Obama, and he'll veto them one at a time, and it's going to really define the Democratic Party.
Well, that could work. I mean, it didn't, and he doesn't have anything to lose.
Who, Obama?
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
And I mean, he didn't really listen to his party in this midterm election.
No.
When they were trying to say what you're doing is hurting.
Yes.
The Dems who are running.
Yes.
So it wouldn't surprise me if that was the strategy, and he did it.
This whole we're talking to Rebecca Logan, the executive director of the Alliance. This whole notion that many Alaskans bought into was he was a Democrat, but he was pro-resource development. He really wasn't.
I think he chose, he's a smart man.
Brilliant.
He is a very smart man.
Yeah.
And so I think he chose things that were easy to do that made it appear that he was pro-resource development, but then the things that really mattered, he shied away from. And of course, the one that bothers me the most, we've talked about it here on this show, is the whole piece with the EPA, where he had the opportunity as a member of the majority party to start an investigation into the EPA for their Bristol Bay watershed assessment study that was done so deceptively and dishonestly.
Terrible.
And if he had taken the lead on that, we would have gotten to the investigation much sooner, and he didn't. So it's things like that people aren't aware of, that show that, okay, maybe you really aren't pro-resource development.
Let's talk gas line now.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Walker has said, I don't know what he said, because on the Friday before the election, I moderated a debate. Were you there out in the valley?
No, I heard about it, but I wasn't out there.
And I specifically pinned down Mr. Walker on whether he would continue the push for the ownership of the pipeline 52%? And he said, yes, absolutely. But I've also heard from other people that he's now backing off that. What are you understanding as far as what he's saying now on that 52% ownership? Of the
He really backed off on that when he met with our executive board.
Okay.
Because that was a concern that everybody brought forward, because you had 8 people sitting in that room and probably 6 of them were working on something for AKLNG, right? We've got a lot of contractors working on that.
Yes.
And so, he clarified his position as being, if the opportunity arose where one of the partners backed out of that, he'd like to see Alaska have the potential to take more ownership. But he made it very clear to us, and he said it several times, and then he said it publicly at the RDC meeting, I'm not going to mess with where we're at.
Wow.
Now, we've made progress. I'm not going to mess that up.
Again, we should take him for his word, but you also have to look at his life. And literally, Rebecca, I don't think you disagree with me, that this is a man who has spent his entire life working for one goal, which is to basically build a state-owned gas line through Valdez, exporting to the Asian market. That's been his whole, his law firm, his personal life, everything's been about that.
Right.
Why would he all of a sudden drop that now that he's governor?
Because now he's governor and he's got all the information. I remember when I ran for the Chugach Electric Board, and from the outside you hear all these things, and you hear about what needs to be done from outsiders, and how horrible things are, and blah 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 blah. And then I got elected, and I chaired that board for 4 years.
Right.
And then you get in there and you get to see the whole picture, and you have access to all the information, and you realize, okay, well, so maybe the thing I thought when I was outside of the group isn't the best route. And so I think that's probably happening here, and then just market forces. But we specifically asked him when we met with him, what about, AKLNG has decided that the terminus is Nikiski.
Yes.
And he said, yes, they have, and we're not going to mess with that.
Wow.
And so I just don't see him, I take him at his word. I don't see him backing off of that.
Now, the city of Valdez has paid him considerable millions of dollars,
right,
as their attorney, trying to get this pipeline to go through Valdez. They can't be happy about his position.
Well, yeah, probably. Probably not. They're protecting their city, right?
Yeah.
They want that economic boon to come to them.
Right. That's going to really be we're talking to Rebecca Logan with the Alliance. That's going to really be the test of Mr. Walker's governor. How many people who have been loyal to him in the past will he be willing to stand up and say, no, I'm going to do what's best for the state, not the people who got me here? That's really the test.
It is a test, but I think he has said, when you look back through the campaign and what he's always said, he always says, I'm going to put Alaska first.
Yeah.
That means the state, right?
Right.
And so I think, so far, in watching what he does, he's trying to do that.
Would you admit the team he's assembled would give you pause?
Yeah, I think it concerns people in the resource industry, but I think they're people that he trusts, right?
Yeah. Your luncheon Friday?
Friday.
Where?
January 9th at the Dena'ina Convention Center.
Dena'ina Convention Center. Tickets still available. Website is?
AlaskaAlliance.com.
That's where you register. Rebecca Logan with the Alliance. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. 7:58. Rebecca Logan with the Alliance. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. 7:58.
Isn't it just amazing how many of these ancient Alaskan traditions one runs into? I, for instance, have discovered it is also an ancient Alaskan tradition to serve Alaska king crab and mandarin white prawns for dinner, not only at Christmas, but also on New Year's Eve. So naturally, crab and prawns are exactly what New Sagayan City Market are featuring as specials right now as we draw closer to the new year. Alaska Golden King crab clusters, just the legs and claws, only the parts you like best. Right now, just $15.95 a pound at New Sagayan City Market. And large white prawns, prized, it is said, by Chinese emperors, are just $9.99 a pound this week. Oh, those large, crisp Shingo pears are fast becoming a traditional food as well. Sweet and juicy Shingo pears are special this week at New Sagayan City Market, $6.99 a piece. However, they're so large, it might be advisable to bring a bigger gunny sack. From the butcher shop, it's fresh ground pork, makes glorious hamburgers, just $3.99 a pound. Happy New Year from New Sagayan Midtown and City Market, 13th and I.
Hot talk all day. Hot talk every day. 95.1 FM, 1080 AM, KOAN, Anchorage.
Dave Anthony, it's 2015 on the other side of the world. That's the party in Hong Kong, and they just counted down to midnight now in Bangkok. But at midnight in Indonesia, there aren't nearly as many celebrating after the Air Asia flight crash. Fox News Radio's Alistair Wanklin live in our Asia Bureau.
That's right, some cities there cancelling all celebrations. In Surabaya, where the plane began its journey, all New Year's entertainments are banned. At the airport there today, there were prayers. Around 40 passengers aboard the plane were members of the same Pentecostal church parish, and 3 others were Presbyterian missionaries. Out at sea today, conditions are tough, too rough for divers to inspect what might be the plane's wreckage on the seabed, and strong wind and waves are forecast tomorrow as well. But rescuers are pulling bodies from the waves, today recovering one victim, apparently a flight attendant dressed in the uniform of Air Asia. Dave.
Now, this is the last group of survivors on that Greek ferry that caught fire Sunday. Is on that bus after arriving in Taranto, Italy. Bad weather in the Adriatic Sea is making it tough for crews to tow the damaged ship to port. 11 people were killed. A prosecutor tells an Italian news agency 98 passengers remain unaccounted for. We're getting word from the Palestinian president that the Palestinians will join the International Criminal Court and press war crimes against Israel. Iran and the U.S. are both denying reports that Washington offered a prisoner's swap to get back a former U.S. Marine held in Iran since 2011. President Obama tells NPR the time is now for Iran to end its global isolation. As for a possible U.S. embassy there,
I'd never say never. But I think these things have to go in steps.
4 prisoners condemned to die in Maryland are getting a new lease on life. Democratic Governor Martin O'Malley says he'll commute their sentences to life in prison. They were the last 4 death row inmates in the state that's banned the death penalty now. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost you thousands. The Quicken Loans PMI Advantage is our lender-paid mortgage insurance program. You see, we pay the PMI so you don't have to. PMI Advantage can give you more options, more flexibility, and may save you thousands when you refinance. To learn more, call us at 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN, or visit us at QuickenLoans.com.
Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
As a retired teacher, I look for ways to save money for the things I love, like traveling the world. Medicare plans change each year. Fortunately, my Health Mart pharmacist helped me understand my insurance, saving me money on prescriptions. And they can help you too. My pharmacist cares about my health and the things I love, whatever that might be.
HealthMart, caring for you and about you. Visit healthmart.com for the locally owned pharmacy near you.
Like it does every season,
Best Split Firewood can deliver split firewood to your house today. And if you live in Anchorage, delivery is free. Wait, what did I just say? Delivery is free if you live in Anchorage. Wow, that's cool. Okay, back to the commercial. Best Split Firewood. Call now, 727-5928. That's 727-5928, and get 2 bundles of starter sticks with your order. Hold on, 2 bundles of starter sticks and free delivery in Anchorage? That's way cool. Best Split Firewood will deliver mostly all birch split and ready for your fireplace or wood stove, no matter how much you need. A quarter, half, or full cord. They have the best firewood in the city, and they'll even mix in some spruce if you ask for it. And don't worry if you just need a couple of bundles. Best Split Firewood has them wrapped and ready to go at half of what you would pay anywhere else in the city. Best Split Firewood. Call today for free delivery in Anchorage and 2 bundles of starter sticks. 727-5928. That's 727-5928.
Visit their new location at 2000 East 68th Avenue in Anchorage.
I think we're going to go full circle on technology. I really do. Because you're going to send me a page, and it's going to say, call me, and I'm going to pick up the phone, and we're going to talk, as opposed to talking through these bricks that I hate talking on, because I always fat-cheek the mute button, and then I'm like going, so anyway, I think what we really need to do is we need to reconfigure the homepage so that it incorporates the father's social media. Can you hear me now?
The Jerry Doyle Show.
Saturdays starting at 7 p.m. on Hot Talk, KOAN.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Happy holidays from Specialty Truck and Auto. Please help me make sure our military members know how much you're appreciated this holiday season. While you're out Christmas shopping or celebrating with family and friends, join me in shaking the hand of a military member and give a heartfelt thank you each and every chance you get. If you happen to see a military member out enjoying a meal, you might consider quietly paying for their meal as a sign of your gratitude for the sacrifices they make for each of us every day, which allows each of us the freedom to celebrate this holiday season in whatever fashion we choose. Thank you from Specialty Truck and Auto.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk.
We will look back at this period as a golden opportunity to buy or sell. Homeowners planning to sell should call us at 244-0821. We will be happy to come out and do a comparative market analysis at your convenience. Call Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company, 244-0821. That's 244-0821.
Fagan, Biegel. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. The Talk of the Valley. KVNT.
6 minutes past 8 o'clock. Good morning to you on this New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2014. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel is off. He'll be back on Monday. We're broadcasting to you this morning on KOAN, KVNT. Also streaming live on the internet, or the interweb, as some say, at danfagan.us. You can actually watch the show and listen to it on danfagan.us. Email me, danfaganshow@icloud.com. danfaganshow@icloud.com. And our phone number, 569-1080. You have a New Year's resolution, right?
I sort of have a chance to start fresh on a few things, I guess. Get it right this year. So,
what are they?
One of them is McDonald's. And so,
what do you mean?
I decided not to go to McDonald's for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
I did that before, and I lost a lot of weight.
Whoa. How much did you lose?
30 pounds.
So what do you get at McDonald's?
Usually just a double cheeseburger and fries.
Fries, that's a killer.
Yeah.
And do you drink regular Coke or Diet Coke?
Usually water.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you lost how much?
30.
In 3 months?
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. So what are you going to eat instead?
Just snacking on, like, I've got some Cheerios. Instead of grabbing a McDonald's sandwich, I'll snack on a few Cheerios.
So you'll bring stuff from home?
Yeah.
And it's cheaper probably.
Mm-hmm.
Although McDonald's is pretty cheap.
It is pretty cheap, and it's convenient, but it's not even that. It's just it's not really good for you.
The oil.
Yeah.
That's what my mother tells me. It's the oil that they cook the hamburgers in.
Oh, well, yeah, the grease that comes.
Grease, yeah. And the French fries. I don't think there's really anything worse than.
Well, and more, it's almost a protest in a way, because you go there 5 times. You might get 5 different experiences.
Yes.
And it's gotten so frustrating. It's like, okay, I'm done going back there.
Yeah.
They'll treat me wrong, but I'll still go back and get a burger next week.
Right.
And so I'm just gonna take a little break.
But this is true for most fast food, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess anywhere you go.
Well, they some of the most obese Americans live in the poorest neighborhoods.
Wow.
Well, it's because they're forced to eat fast food.
Cheese.
Well, they can't afford to go get a nice salad bar at a decent restaurant with a piece of fish and maybe some vegetables. They gotta go eat a Big Mac, or a Whopper, or whatever else there is at Taco Bell, nachos.
Yeah.
So that McDonald's is your main.
Yeah, well, a lot of, not all fast food especially McDonald's, but I'm gonna cut back for sure. For one, I got that car. I don't drive through the drive-through and eat in the car. I might get the food and go home, but
you got a new car, so you want to keep it neat.
Yeah. So there's several factors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My goal is to gain 50 pounds.
And my goal's not even to lose weight; it's to save a little money and just not eat at McDonald's all the time.
Well, my goal, of course, is to lose weight. I have to lose weight. Life is so precious. I enjoy it so much. And I know that if I don't lose weight, I'm not going to have as much of life as I should have, and I'll have no one to blame but myself. So that's really my big focus. It's, I don't know what it is about the new year. It's just a calendar, I don't know why people, I guess it's just a different time frame.
Well, you can say, I haven't had a cigar this whole year.
Yes. Actually, I don't know that I have had a cigar in 2000.
Yeah, you and Dave had one here in the studio.
There you go. That's the last one I had.
Yeah.
But it's a time of hope, I think, for a lot of people. Like you woke up yesterday or today and decided to enroll in some classes.
Yeah, and I'd been thinking about it, but since I felt so energetic this morning.
Because you slept well.
Yep.
Energy is important. You got to be rested at night.
I think it's a key of getting to bed early instead of just staying up and watching TV.
Forcing yourself.
Yeah. That's what I did last night. It was 8:40. I was like, okay, I'm turning off everything. Or at least the lights. I'm laying down. I'm going to bed.
I have always in my entire life had trouble making myself go to bed. And my mother even told me that when I was a kid. It was torture getting me to go to bed. I don't know why that is. Why do you think that is?
I don't know, but I had the same problem when I was especially like 9, 10 years old. I would listen to Herb Shainlin. He'd come on at 10 at night. I would stay up listening to my radio under my pillow. Yeah.
At 10 years old?
Mm-hmm.
You think you got radio in your blood?
Yeah.
At 10 years old, you're listening to Herb Shainlin.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
That is amazing.
I loved talk radio at that young age.
At 10 years old?
Yeah.
There's no way he had any other 10-year-old.
And he wasn't a political show. I mean, his was a variety. He'd have the psychics on.
Yeah.
And all kinds. I mean, it's so hard to remember all the things he did.
Back then, did he, as he did in his later years, always start his show with a joke?
I don't remember specifically, but he was pretty consistent. He had the same theme music. And yeah, it was just, I hear that music in my head. It's like a carnival.
Well, I remember when he was on KFQD in his latter years at 9 o'clock every morning, there'd be a joke right off the bat, and it was always corny. But you'd laugh because it's just the way he delivered it.
Yeah.
Did you know him at all?
No, I never got to meet him. And really, by the time I was getting in radio and stuff, he was retired.
Yeah.
For the most part. So he didn't have necessarily a regular show for many years where I got a chance to work with him or meet him.
Yeah.
I saw him at Village Inn once, so I was really impressed.
You talked to him?
No, but I got to sit kind of by his booth, so that was cool. I was like, oh my gosh,
Herb
Shainlin.
He also did commentaries on TV.
Yeah, Channel 13. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
I did used to love that.
Yeah, he's definitely an Alaska icon that will probably never be repeated. He was really something.
Yep.
569-1080, 569-1080. I'd like to hear your New Year's resolution. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm feeling generous. Tell me your New Year's resolution, and if it's the best one we hear, we will give you a gift certificate for 2 at Club Paris. 569-1080, 569-1080. Give us your New Year's resolution. Let us know what you'd like to change or what your goals are in 2015. And if we like it, we think it's the best, we will award you a gift certificate for Club Paris. Best steaks in town. 569-1080. 569-1080. That's the number to call if you'd like to get a gift certificate for Club Paris by simply telling us your New Year's resolution. 569-1080. 569-1080. Gift certificate, Club Paris. Give us a call. Let us know what your New Year's resolution is. Brian's is no more McDonald's. Mine is to lose weight. And mine is also to be more tolerant and patient with people, especially those with whom I disagree. That's a big one. That's a tough one. That's a big one, but that's what I'm going to focus on.
What about people that disagree with you?
Well, that's what I mean.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I was speaking in proper English.
Do you think they should have the same?
Well, that's up to them. That's not really my business. I can't.
Yeah. Another thing I want to do next year is not be as grouchy and shut out as I usually am.
I don't find you grouchy at all.
If you bother me, I will be.
Really?
Well, I get grouchy when people don't, do what they say they're supposed to do.
Like what?
I used to work at this place, and part of the team, I relied on another part of the team to do their part of the job, so I could do my part of the job.
Right.
and that team would consistently fall very short of perfection, even decency on a lot of things, and it was just a messed up way of doing things. So yeah, I mean, that kind of thing would frustrate me, and then I would probably show that to those people.
Yeah. Well, I find you very pleasant.
They didn't fire me though.
No.
So, yeah, they just said, man, this guy, hard to work with.
We're going to take a quick break. 569-1080. 569-1080. We'll be right back.
Call 333-8000 and ask for the season's greeting special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. For the only 24-hour-a-day delivery in Alaska, call 333-8000 or save 20% by ordering online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's. Wishing you and yours a safe and happy holiday season.
Hi, this is Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company. Sellers, if you are going to sell your home, now may very well be the best time. The current interest rates are still very low in comparison to previous loan rates. Now is the time to take advantage of this uncommon phenomenon. We will look back at this period as a golden opportunity to buy or sell. Homeowners planning to sell should call us at 244-0821. We will be happy to come out and do a comparative market analysis at your convenience. Call Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company, 244-0821. That's 244-0821.
Anchorage Fracture and Orthopedic Clinic has provided exceptional sports medicine care to Alaska athletes since 1969. As the official orthopedic providers for UAA Hockey and the Alaska Football League, we continue to keep athletes and their fans in the game. Our doctors provide the most comprehensive bone, joint, and muscle care for all areas of the body. Learn more at www.afoc.com. Anchorage Fracture and Orthopedic Clinic, the strength of experience.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call, 569-1080. KO.
Call today for free delivery in Anchorage and 2 bundles of starter sticks. 727-5928. That's 727-5928.
Visit their new location at 2000 East 68th Avenue in Anchorage.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning on the Talk of the Valley, KVNT 92.5 FM, 1020 AM.
All right, 8:18 here on a Wednesday morning, the 31st of December, New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve to you folks. Our number 569-1080, 569-1080. We are broadcasting on KOAN, KVNT. KOAN is 95.1 FM, 1080 AM. That's in Anchorage. Then out in the valley, we're on KVNT, 92.5 FM, 1020 AM out in the valley. We're also streaming on the internet. danfagan.us. danfagan.us. You can get us that way. And you can email me, danfaganshow@icloud.com. Glen Biegel will be back with us on Monday. We will be off tomorrow and Friday, but we will be back live with you on Monday. You know, I love Rudy Giuliani. He's former mayor of New York, as you know. This is about ready, Brian? It's ready?
Yep.
You know, this Al Sharpton and Barack Obama, these guys are... they're bad news, as my grandmother used to say. This narrative that police are racist and that we're a racist nation, it's just sickening. And few Republicans have the courage to stand up to these race baiters, Rudy Giuliani being the exception. And I'm going to play a clip from him on Face the Nation yesterday, or Sunday, excuse me, where he addresses this whole issue of, you know, these 2 cops that were killed in New York, and then a couple of other ones were shot at in Los Angeles. Giuliani actually tears up talking about this race-baiting narrative that's become so prevalent on the left. Here's Rudy Giuliani on Face the Nation. Listen to this.
Thank you. We turn now to the former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani, who is also with us from New York. Mr. Mayor, good morning.
Good morning, Major. How are you?
Good. Let's clear one thing up. You said a while ago that President Obama contributed to a rhetorical atmosphere about hating American police. And the Washington Post fact-checked you on that. I cover the president every single day. I've never detected anything that comes along the line of propaganda urging the country to hate police. Do you want to recast that or take that back?
Oh, not at all. I think you missed one very important point. He has had Al Sharpton to the White House 80, 85 times. Often when he's talking about police issues, he has Al Sharpton sitting next to him. If you would like to have a poster boy for hating the police, it's Al Sharpton. You make Al Sharpton a close advisor, you're going to turn the police in America against you. You're going to tell the police in America, we don't understand you. I saw this man help cause riots in New York. I've heard his anti-police invective firsthand. To have a man who hasn't paid $4 million in taxes, have a man who's spent his career helping to create riots, phony stories about police, to have that man sitting next to you speaks volumes. You know, actions speak louder than words. You put Al Sharpton next to you, you just told everyone, I'm against the police.
Well, what about the president's rhetoric itself? Do you still believe the president's rhetoric?
His rhetoric.
Go ahead.
Well, look who you associate with as part of your rhetoric. If I was talking to you about ending the mafia, as I did in the 1980s, or fighting the mafia, and I had Joe Colombo sitting next to me, you would say I was a big hypocrite, wouldn't you? It wouldn't matter what my rhetoric was. Oh, I'm fighting the mafia. There's Joe Colombo. Yeah, I'm for the police, and there's Al Sharpton. Every cop in America is going to say, give me a break. I get the point, Mr. President. His interference in the Gates affair, the fact that he pays great attention to these so-called racial incidents, some of which are not racial incidents, sends representatives to funerals of people who were killed in the commission of committing a crime. And I haven't heard him make very strong comments about the deaths of officers Ramos and Liu to that extent. So I think the Washington Post fact-checking was substantially inaccurate, and they missed one big point, Al Sharpton.
Interesting. Mr. Mayor, when you were mayor, you had your own beefs with the New York City Police. There were times when they turned their backs on you. Is there something different, fundamentally different about this relationship between Mayor de Blasio and yours?
Never. I had disagreements with the police. We had 2 zeros, 3, 4, 5% increase. I had them sometimes chanting double zeros for heroes. Never had the police turn their backs on me. And I never had an issue about policing with them. The reality is the mayor of the city of New York should not be blamed for the murder of those police officers. That issue should not have been injected. It's wrong. I told the mayor that yesterday, and I don't support that. So I want to be clear on that.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, the mayor is not in any way to be treated with people turning their backs. Doesn't matter if you like the mayor or you don't like the mayor. You have to respect the mayor's position. I don't support that. But I do believe Mayor de Blasio should apologize to the New York City Police Department. I said it day one, and I think he'd get this over with if he did it. I've had to apologize for things that I said that were wrong. He created an impression with the police. And I don't know that he wanted to do it. He probably didn't. But he created an impression with the police that he was on the side of the protesters. Now, some of those protesters were entirely legitimate, but some of those protesters were horrible, yelling, kill the police, kill the police, kill the police. I don't ever remember protests where people yelling, kill the police since the 1960s and 70s. He should have apologized for the remarks that he made that gave the police the impression that he's on the other side. And by the way, he could lose Al Sharpton also.
Interesting. Mr. Mayor.
Sharpton, when Sharpton pays the $4 million he owes the federal government,
right,
maybe he should be allowed to sit next to a mayor or a governor. Or when Sharpton apologizes to police for all the times that he has maligned them, made false charges against them, helped cause the Crown Heights riot, ruin a man's career over Tawana Brawley, who happened to be in law enforcement. When he loses Al Sharpton, maybe then he can have a better relationship with the New York City Police Department. Those are the things in the mayor's control. Now, has the union gone overboard? Yes, with this idea that he's responsible for the murder. That's a terrible thing to suggest about a mayor. I'm sure Mayor de Blasio's heart is broken over these police officers. And I'm giving this advice in good faith. It is not political. It's like a former mayor. Mayor de Blasio, please say you're sorry to them for having created a false impression of them. You did create a false impression of them. Say you're sorry. Say you didn't realize. Say you didn't realize you have a non-white police department in terms of majority. This is a police department, as Commissioner Bratton knows, and has helped to create from the very beginning when he was my police commissioner. This is a police department that has everybody.
Mr.
There
Mayor?
is no majority in the New
Mr.
York
Mayor?
City Police Department.
Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for your time this morning.
That was Rudy Giuliani on Meet the Press, or no, I'm sorry, Face the Nation on CBS. That was Major Garrett doing the interviewing. And I thought Giuliani showed some restraint there. Look, we know traditionally those on the left, and of course the current mayor of New York City, Mr. de Blasio, is clearly a man of the left. They've always had disdain for law and order, for rule of law. Folks, if you want to know what the left believes, you just got to go back to the 60s, the hippie movement, when they were much more honest. Now they're more politically correct. So most leftists run as conservatives when they're running for office. And you really don't get to know what they believe until they get into office, and then they start with their policies that are basically anti-law and order, anti-police, anti-military, anti-sovereignty of the United States. So Mr. de Blasio, as most leftists, have a real disdain for police. And I understand that. And occasionally it'll come out, and they'll always immediately run to the side of the protester or the criminal, as was the case down in Ferguson, Missouri. Clearly, Mr. Obama, Mr. Sharpton, Mr. de Blasio, they always side with the criminal as though the criminal is the victim and the criminal is a target of racism. That's the left. That's their modus operandi. That's how they function. That's their worldview. And that creates this atmosphere of hatred and anger and bitterness amongst the minority community. And many times that leads to the burning of businesses, even the murdering of police officers, to the assassination of police officers. And that's legitimately the reality of the situation. I think Mr. Giuliani, who is a statesman in my opinion, called it correctly. He gave Mr. de Blasio the benefit of the doubt, but he also demanded that he apologized, as he should. And those who are, can you imagine being a New York City policeman, losing two of your colleagues after they've been assassinated, and to have your mayor side with the protesters? It must sicken their stomachs. But Mr. Giuliani said this is not justification for turning your back. You have to at least respect the office of the mayor and act accordingly. I agree with him on that. He's such a wise man, Giuliani. What a great mayor he was during September 11th in 2001. It's a sad situation. Look, you've been lied to. You have been a pawn. You have been played the fool. Those of you in the minority community who buy into the race baiters. The race baiters, the community organizers, the NAACP, the Al Sharptons, the Jesse Jacksons, the Barack Obamas of the world, they tell you you are oppressed and you cannot make it because of the white power structure. Nothing could be further from the truth. You can do anything in this country you want to. If you're willing to take risks, if you're willing to work hard, if you're willing to apply yourself and make good decisions. No white man can keep you down. I don't care what nationality. I don't care if you're an immigrant. I don't care if you're African American. I don't care where you're from. This is the United States of America. Do not let these race baiters on the left play you for a fool. You are a pawn to them. You are empowering them. They use you for their own self-aggrandizement. Don't be misled. 629, 829. Misled. 629, 829.
Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
Local news brought to you by Jansen Funeral Homes, Jansen's Evergreen Memorial Chapel, Jansen's Alaska Cremation Center, and Jansen's Eagle River Funeral Home. Jansen Funeral Homes, where just like family, they're there when you need them.
With KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. Anchorage passengers will be able to fly non-stop to China in the new year. Dynamic Airlines planning weekly flights, which is the largest in province. It'll change to twice a week in the spring. Today is the last day for public comment on a proposal to reconstruct the Parks Highway at miles 183 to 188. The project is expected to begin in 2017. The National Weather Service says the hail-like pellets that fell over parts of Anchorage Tuesday morning wasn't actually hail. Meteorologists say they were tiny ice balls that create an unpleasant experience for people outside, but are not hail. Finally, one of the biggest names in long-distance dog mushing has signed up for the 1,000-mile Yukon Quest. Four-time champion Lance Mackey says changes among his kennel staff led to the decision to register for the race. It starts on Saturday, February 7th. Back your Hot Talk News update.
It will be a windy day today with snow, much of the time accumulating 2 to 4 inches, the high 37. Then tonight, partly cloudy, low 22. For New Year's Day, tomorrow we'll see periods of clouds and sunshine with a high 28. Patchy clouds at night, low of 12. For Friday, a blend of sun and clouds, high 19 and a low 10. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Happy holidays from your family at Worthington Ford. We wish you and yours all of the health and happiness in the world. Please be safe this holiday season, like Grandpa always said.
Hey, if you drive, don't drink. If you drink, don't drive. We love you.
Chocolate isn't the only thing you should keep away from your pet. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN's chief medical correspondent. Dogs aren't meant to eat people food. Let's face it, many do, thanks to their owners or their guests who simply can't resist the begging. You've likely heard before that even a small amount of chocolate can spike your animal's heart rate, cause anxiety. But you also want to keep your four-legged buddies away from grapes and raisins. Those have been associated with kidney failure in dogs. Macadamia nuts are another no-no. Ingesting as few as 6 macadamia nuts can make your dog really sick. It can also lead to weakness, depression, muscle tremors, and in some cases even death. And never assume that young children or friends or family that are visiting know the rules of the house when it comes to your animal. If you think your dog may have ingested something he shouldn't, make sure to call your vet right away. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
As a retired teacher, I look for ways to save money for the things I love, like traveling the world. Medicare plans change each year. Fortunately, my Health Mart pharmacist helped me understand my insurance, saving me money on prescriptions. And they can help you too. My pharmacist cares about my health and the things I love, whatever that might be.
Health Mart, caring for you and about you. Visit healthmart.com for the locally owned pharmacy near you.
When our water heater broke down last month, it took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break. Just call 800-711-6816. That's 800-711-6816.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Why is A&A The Shop Alaska's independent Subaru specialist? How is it they've been voted the best shop in Anchorage not once but 6 times? Well, it's pretty simple. They offer the best warranty in the business. If they work on your Subaru, you're going to get a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on both parts and labor. That's unheard of. A&A The Shop deals exclusively with Subarus, and they also offer $35 oil changes. All their technicians are ASE certified. Call A&A The Shop for an appointment. 562-3919 in Anchorage and 696-2096 in Eagle River.
Glen Biegel, you have beautiful teeth. Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years. I get scared at the dentist. Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist for Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at
Dogmatic pipelines versus pipe dreams. One man steps into the gauntlet of rhetoric with flags of truth, justice, and honor. The Tom Anderson Show. Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. on KVNT 92.5 FM and 1020 a.m. The Valley's only rush hour news and political forum. Are you ready to rumble? Tune in to The Tom Anderson Show on KVNT.
Fagan and Biegel. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m. on the Talk of the Valley. KVNT.
Well, happy New Year's Eve to you. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel's off. He'll be back on Monday, celebrating New Year's Eve, the December 31st, 2014. Hope it was a good year for you. I hope you're optimistic for 2015. We're broadcasting this morning on KOA and KVNT. Also streaming live, danfagan.us. Our number 569-1080, 569-1080. You know, Glenn or Brian, I just don't think much of what government tries works, and I'll give you a perfect example. And you would be perfect to ask because you worked in the bar business. You worked as a DJ. This, you know, in New Orleans, they don't ever shut the bars down. 24/7.
Right. Like Vegas.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, there's probably a few places. Well, you know, police are really having problems with this bar break thing, especially downtown. Been a number of shootings just recently. And what happens is when the bars close, all the people spill out on the street. They actually had people in riot gear a couple weeks ago down on Fifth Avenue. Why are we forcing bars to close?
Yeah, I don't know. And the ABC board is just really uptight about it, too.
They think it's important.
Yeah, I mean, in Wasilla, just an hour up the road, they're open till 5.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Well, why close them at all?
I don't know.
Is it illegal to drink in a bar?
I guess they think it's going to stop something from happening.
Well, yeah, hundreds of drunk people emptying out into the streets at once.
Right. It's causing a problem. I don't know. I guess it's nice. I also managed the bar for a while, and it's nice to be able to close.
Well, yeah,
know?
But you can bring in a new shift.
Yeah, and at that point, you know, do you really want people anymore? But
well, that's up to the bar owner.
That's true.
Why, if the bar wants to close at 2 in the morning, that could be the bar's decision. And then the guy down the street can say, well, I'll stay over to 4.
Yeah.
And I'll get those clients that, you know.
Yeah, like at Coots, when I was working there last summer, when I would leave, there'd be a lot of people still ready to stay.
Yeah.
And actually what would happen there is they all are just right in that street, right in front of Coots. And I would be happy just to bust right through there, get in my car, and get out of there before anything happened every night.
Well, I also know there's a lot of underground clubs in town.
Yeah, I've never heard of anything like that.
Really?
Actually, in 91, I heard about this after hours club.
Yeah, after hours.
And they took me there, and they had slot machines and everything, and that's the only time I've ever even heard of one.
Really?
But I'm kind of square, I guess. I'm not hanging with that right crew.
Well, I've heard that there are several. This is like when I was working for Channel 2. Police would tell me there's half a dozen of them.
Wow, I got to find one. I love to play craps, man.
You got to know somebody to get in.
That's my problem.
I've never been to one.
Yeah, I don't know anybody.
Well, but the idea but if you would just let the bar stay open, you're not going to have this massive exodus all at once. It was scary. I saw the video of it. I don't know who was it. I think it was just a regular person, but Channel 11 had it, I think. And you saw hundreds of people out there, and the APD had these big riot helmets on and the gear, and they're moving toward the crowd slowly, and they're on their microphone saying, please disperse. There's nothing to see here. And It was scary.
Yeah, well, it's scary when you get a big crowd like that, because say one or two people start something crazy,
Yes.
other people just start piling in, you know. I've had a gun pointed at me at Hot Rods.
Really?
Yeah, we threw these guys out just for walking around acting menacing to people, and we asked them to leave. We didn't have to fight them or throw them out. And they got outside the front door, and one of them pulled a gun on me and the doorman.
Wow.
And luckily it didn't fire. He tried to.
He pulled the trigger?
He pulled the trigger. And then his friends all ran. We caught one of the guys.
Wait a minute. He pulled the trigger at you?
No, pointed. I was standing next to the bouncer when he pulled the trigger, pointed at us.
And it was a misfire?
Yep, didn't fire.
And did the police arrest him?
No, we didn't catch him. We caught one of his friends because there were about 4 of them. And, you know, I was kind of looking for him because they pulled up and parked right in front of the dumpster where it says no parking.
So didn't the weren't police able to find the guy through the friend?
We never heard.
Okay.
We filed our report, and that was it, you know.
That's amazing. The guy tried to kill somebody like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
What
He
a
would have shot
dumbass.
us. He would have shot him right in the gut if it would have.
Oh, my goodness.
And I might have been next if it would have worked because I was
Sure.
right next to him. So.
Unless he knew he had no bullets and he was just doing it to bluff.
Yeah, I don't know.
They
did run pretty quick.
But can you, as someone who's worked in the bar business, justify for me the notion of bar break?
No, I mean, the bar break, it's a bad idea. You do have to kick people out. They're not ready to go. It's not very gentle. And it's more like, you know, get out. Get out now. You have to be out because we'll be in trouble if you're here past 2 minutes. You know, 2 minutes from now, if you're still here, we could be in trouble. So it's a bad process. It sucks.
And again, it's government trying to help people, but always creating a mess.
Yeah.
And ended up hurting those who they try to help. Also, I know there's been a huge problem downtown with predators who are looking for drunk women coming out of the bars
I'll
to
bet.
sexually assault them because they know they'll be leaving at 2 a.m.
Well, and they can walk through the bars all night and spot them. And
Sure.
Yeah, it's pretty messy. Yeah, if you're going to be in a bar that late, you know, it's better to be with some friends who you know you're safe with. And I don't know, I don't find the reason to go anymore. If I was going to drink, I could do it at home for cheap. And nobody would bother me.
The only reason I ever went to bars was to enjoy a nice cigar, but they won't let me do that, so I don't go to bars either anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's been since I've been in a bar. It's been forever. I just don't understand the bar break thing. I honestly don't. 569-1080. I understand politicians. They always want to protect people from themselves. 569-1080. 569-1080. Let's go to Rosie. Rosie, you're on.
Hey, Dan. Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. Good morning.
Hey, I wanted to call in. I was thinking right now there's probably a lot of moms that are headed to drop their kids off at school.
Yep.
So I thought maybe we could touch base a little bit on school's no-tolerance bully policy.
Okay.
And I wanted to share a couple of experiences. This has happened more than once.
All right.
So my middle son goes to school, and he has been in quite a few altercations, I guess you could say, where kids have hit him, and he's done nothing, and nothing usually happens. So by the second or third time of my husband telling him, you know, you need to stick up for yourself, and he says, I will get in trouble.
Yeah.
And my husband's made it very clear. No, you always defend yourself. Always.
Yes,
You defend the less fortunate. You always defend yourself.
Absolutely.
So one particular time, he fought back,
Yes.
and the principal called him in. He called us. She called us.
Wow.
And we went in, and my husband made it very clear, look, we're not going to raise someone that does not stand up for what they're supposed to.
That's right.
The district may have a no-tolerance policy, but just because that's in place, it doesn't make it morally right. We're,
That's right.
you know, raising a bunch of victims, a bunch of wusses.
Yes.
And so the principal agreed and high-fived my son and said, you know what, I agree with you, and my hands are tied. And
Wow.
I tell my kids the same exact thing. You always defend yourself.
Wow.
Always.
Hey, hold
And-
on, Rosie. This is interesting. I remember there was a flyer the Massachusetts District put out on bullying that was disgusting to me. Kind of the whole thing about being a coward and not standing up to a bully. I want to explore this issue with you, but I got to take a break. We'll continue. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel will be back Monday, 8:44. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel will be back Monday, 8:44.
Don't just sit there. Give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
Hi, this is Jonathan Martin at Harrington and Company. Sellers, if you are going to sell your home, now may very well be the best time. The current interest rates are still very low in comparison to previous loan rates. Now is the time to take advantage of this uncommon phenomenon. We will look back at this period as a golden opportunity to buy or sell. Homeowners planning to sell should call us at 244-0821. We will be happy to come out and do a comparative market analysis at your convenience. Call Jonathan Martin at Harrington and Company, 244-0821. That's 244-0821.
Isn't it just amazing how many of these ancient Alaskan traditions one runs into? I, for instance, have discovered it is also an ancient Alaskan tradition to serve Alaska king crab and mandarin white prawns for dinner, not only at Christmas, but also on New Year's Eve. So naturally, crab and prawns are exactly what New Sagayan City Market are featuring as specials right now as we draw closer to the new year. Alaska Golden King crab clusters, just the legs and claws, only the parts you like best. Right now, just $15.95 a pound at New Sagayan City Market. And large white prawns, prized, it is said, by Chinese emperors, are just $9.99 a pound this week. Oh, those large, crisp Shingo pears are fast becoming a traditional food as well. Sweet and juicy Shingo pears are special this week at New Sagayan City Market, $6.99 a piece. However, they're so large, it might be advisable to bring a bigger gunny sack. From the butcher shop, it's fresh ground pork, makes glorious hamburgers, just $3.99 a pound. Happy New Year from New Sagayan Midtown and City Market, 13th and I.
There's a lot of so-called experts out there claiming to have the key to success in business for a price. Are you ready for real business advice you can trust without a fee? Then don't miss Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt. Advice from people in the know. Technology, finance, taxes, and more. Business people helping business people take their skills and services to the next level. Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt. Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. on Hot Talk, KOAN, 95.1 FM and 1080 a.m.
You're on with Fagan.
Square Park on December 31st and ends at 8 p.m. with the Anchorage Downtown Partnership Fireworks Spectacular. You don't want to miss out. For more information on this event, please visit anchoragedowntown.org or call 907-279-5650. Brought to you by Anchorage Downtown Partnership, Visit Anchorage, the Alaska Railroad, Linden Transport, and Alaska Integrated Media.
Fagan, Biegel. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. The Talk of the Valley. KVNT.
8:47, New Year's Eve, December 31st. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel will be back on Monday. Our number 569-1080. Talking about bullying in schools. Rosie's on the phone with us. Rosie, you do remember? I don't know if you remember this, but it was probably about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. By the way, I say that about everything. It doesn't matter what I'm describing. It's always 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago because I'm so bad with time frames. But there was a flyer that the Matsu School District put out, and literally, I got a hold of it. We talked about it on the old show. It said if you're bullied and someone starts to hit you, stand there. Eventually, the bully will get tired.
I did not see that, but I am not surprised.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And so you're saying that you had a problem with your son being bullied.
Yep, and he stood up for himself, and the principal literally said that her hands were tied,
yeah,
but she teaches her own children to do the same thing.
Yes.
And after that situation, I felt better about what we decided because
Yes.
I taught my kids, you don't pick on others. You know, you stand up for the less fortunate. You never be a bully. If you see someone else doing that, you need to stop it. And I thought, what is society teaching our children,
Yeah.
especially the public school system,
Right.
of, you know what, we're kind of like gods. We're like the government. We can step in and make everything right. If there's bullies and they're going to beat you down, whatever you do, do not protect yourself because we can make it better.
Well, everyone knows the only thing that a bully understands is resistance.
Mm-hmm.
A bully preys on weakness.
And this particular boy that had hit my son became friends with him right after that.
Yeah.
And I mean, now they're friends.
Sure.
And I had this conversation with my dad a couple weeks ago, and he said, you know, Rosie, if that policy was in place when I was in school, most of us wouldn't even be going to school. He's like, back then, you just, you know, you fight it out, you
Sure.
take it out, and either you become friends or you don't talk again. But the bullying stopped.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's the only way to stand up to a bully, and I don't know. I guess it's just that that pacifist leftist mentality that's predominant with so many educators today, that you just, peace at all costs. That's kind of what the left teaches. Peace through pacifism.
Well, it's the take care of me. I don't have, the gumption to stand up for myself, let alone my family. How many moms out there are allowing their kids to go to school and then turn around and say, well, don't fight back, you'll be suspended too. Are you kidding me? Take the suspension and stand up for what's right and go in there and talk to somebody. Take it to the school board. Talk to the principal. I mean, so many parents are passive too, and they're just raising a generation that's doing the exact same thing.
Well, I'm glad your son stood up for himself.
Me too. I and it's funny because about a year later, he had another fight, and we walked in, and the principal, said, hey, he's going to have to take the 3-day suspension, and I will excuse all of his work, because she knew that was our family rule, that you always stand up for yourself.
That's encouraging.
So, there's good educators out there too, and they get it. Yes, they understand their hands are tied, but there's some that are going to feel comfortable to share with you, hey, you know what, parent, you are doing the right thing, even though the school district isn't.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rosie.
Yep. Have a good day, Dan.
You too. Talk to you later. That's good to hear that some educators get it. They're not blindly following the agenda set out before them. 569-1080. Listen to this, Brian. You just signed up for some classes yesterday. From November 2013 through November 2014, the aggregate balance in the federal direct student loan program, as reported by the monthly Treasury statement, rose from $687 billion to $806 billion, a one-year jump of $119 billion. 1 year. The balance on all student loans, including those from private sources, exceeded $1 trillion at the end of the third quarter, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Outstanding student loan balances reported on credit reports increased to $1.13 trillion, an increase of $8 billion as of September 2014, representing about a $100 billion increase from a year ago. 7 years ago, in November 2007, the aggregate balance in the federal direct student loan program was $92 billion. Since then, it has grown by $708 billion. Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? In the last 7 years, the student loan program has gone from $98 billion to $708 billion. This is money that young people owe the federal treasury. $98 billion to $708 billion.
Wow.
It is a stone. What Abraham Lincoln said, there is no greater stone around a young person's neck than debt. $98 billion to $708 billion, Brian.
Well, and besides school, the only way you can build up a big debt like that is emergency medical care, or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of the money for Obamacare, they send everyone to school. Then they'll get out and have good jobs and be able to pay for their own health care.
It's unbelievable. But that debt that they're saddled with. Oh, by the way, guess what percentage of people who attend four-year colleges actually get a degree?
I'd say maybe 25.
58%.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of debt.
Yeah.
For not getting a degree.
I mean, I left because I had good jobs, but I'm going back. Just, I'd kind of like to finish something I started. And there's opportunities out there.
Here's another fact you may want to know. The unemployment rate between 18 and 25-year-olds, 52%.
Yeah, I believe that.
So here you go, and you get all this school loan debt, and you get out of college, and there's no job. So you're living in your parents' basement. I don't know how you're paying your student loan.
They take it out of your dividend eventually.
I guess. But how do the people in the lower 48 do it?
Yeah, and that's why, I didn't apply. I could have applied for a student loan, but I would rather do it this way where I can't afford it all at once, but at least I can make a payment.
Well, what they've done under Obama is they've created under Obama more than 50 loan forgiveness and loan repayment programs. That's just under Obama. So basically, when the government forgives or repays a student loan, it's just wealth redistribution. That's all it is. It's literally taking money from one family and paying for someone's college. That's all it is. It's amazing what this president has done to explode the size of the welfare state in our country. But here's the good news. As our good friend Margaret Thatcher said, eventually we're going to run out of other people's money. And things are going to change. We told you yesterday about in Michigan, they've begun, the welfare state is so out of control in Michigan, one of the most liberal states in the nation now, that the lawmakers there have approved drug testing of some welfare recipients because they have to wean people off the welfare dole because it's breaking the back of the state. That's the good news. That's the good news. When you stop feeding the beast, which is this big monolithic government that we have before us now, you are forcing the government to make more wise decisions. So even though our current president is giving everything he can to grow government dependence, it's going to end because we're over 18 trillion in debt. So that's the good news. Don't let your heart be troubled. Don't get concerned that half of all Americans are on food stamps or whatever the number is. It's 52 billion or something. I don't know what it is. Don't let that get you down because the money's going to run dry. The beast cannot make. You're not going to. There's no money. So that's the good news. Take comfort in that. Eventually, and the sad thing is, folks, the people who are not providing for themselves, you're cheating them. You're cheating them out of the rich experience of earning money and having self-satisfaction and self-esteem, knowing you created something of value, and then that creating of something of value has led to you being compensated financially. That's kind of what life's all about. It's called work, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's what we were created to do. And the left will come in and say, you don't need to work. We'll give you cash. We'll give you comfort. We'll give you security. But the left's running out of money. And even though the left is robbing many a young person of the opportunity to fend for themselves, they're not going to be able to do that much longer. And that, my friends, is a reason to take great comfort and have hope for the future. We're going to take off tomorrow. It's New Year's Day. Most of you, I'm assuming, will be asleep this time of day tomorrow. Hopefully stay up past midnight. You have permission. We're also going to take off Friday. We'll be back, Glenn and I, on Monday to ready. Glenn, Brian, and I, we're going to kick the new year off with a bang. We're going to have a blast in 2015. We hope you'll join us and be a part of our show. We do appreciate you listening. We do appreciate you being a part of what we're doing here. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve, and we'll talk to you again live on Monday. Wonderful New Year's Eve, and we'll talk to you again live on Monday.